quarterfinal number 2, Hera versus Liry. Liry in the red in the north, then Hera in the blue in the south. Hera's gone for the pulls, and Nilly, I mean, first time we've seen this, it's going to be extremely awkward for Hera with pulls to maybe fit farms on this map because of the stone terrain, which you can't build on, and all the little patches of trees. So are you surprised with the pulls, Nilly?
Yeah, well, we have not seen them a lot, and especially like with poles, one of the big advantages is that you can go onto stone and generate gold with it, right? But on this map, like stone tiles far away, only in small patches, so that's not your greatest bonus. And as you said, such a tight area around your town center that you can never like fit even 6 proper farms around a fall walk, and therefore, not the craziest bonuses.
Yeah. Hera has a lot of trust in this Civ. He did use the Civ in Titans League 3. And then we've got Huns on the other side, a Civ that used to be the only Civ that people played back in the days. It'd just be Hun War, Hun War, Hun War. These days, you don't see it competitively too much, so could be a sign that Liry is saving some of his best civilizations for later on in the series, which would make sense. But also that maybe he has a lot of faith in them here with the Cav Archers or the faster producing stables.
So what are we thinking about this forward? You can fit 5 farms, I think. If you build it 1 tile further, nah, it will always be only 5 farms.
I can't envision it right now. Oh, that full work. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I think only 5 farms. But that's interesting, right? Because didn't Hera place the mill on his berries before the restart?
Hashtag mind games.
And then he thought about it because the map was bugged. And now he's going to place the farms here. So, I mean, that is a sure way to make sure you could take advantage of the farms, but you are also skipping the berries. But, like, I'll tell you one thing that's amazing about that. What is Liry going to be able to kill? Right? Like, Liry will not be able to kill any of the food in Wood Eco, and Hera's not leaving himself exposed at all with this approach.
Yeah, but, like, where is he placing his 6th farm? Is it also inside?
1, 2,
or do you
3,
want to go
5.
like outside with like 5 villagers and build the forwalk and then start farming around it?
I wonder if he ends up deleting one of his houses later. Like the house next to his barracks, if that was 4 tiles further forward, you could maybe justify another full work. So, yeah. But you do have a lot of food on this map because you have the boars, and then water buffaloes are plentiful and they have more food than sheep, so that should be fine. Liry obviously taking the berries, which is what we expected. And I would assume that both players are going to open scouts here and then adapt into the late game. But remember, the golds are beyond the stone terrain, so eventually you're going to need to expand to take that. And my expectation is both players are going to want some golds here. No loom for Liry. It's just such a questionable play. And he could lose 2 villagers to start off the quarterfinal.
Oh, baby. And that's not the best quick wall ever. Hera wasn't even microing perfectly there, but still gets 2 kills.
Oh, man. You know, Nilly, I feel like this is just something that has unfortunately happened with Liry. I remember another game where he didn't get loom and just lost 2 villagers, I think on migration, where you knew scouts were going to be out. And I think Liry trying to be a little cute there, just skip loom, but Hera saw the opportunity. Easiest 2 kills of his life there.
And I don't mind skipping loom if you only have 2 exposed villagers, but those are so easily walled in. Just 2 palisades, and I think the build-up makes 100% sense.
And in all honesty, it's those tiny details which have been the difference between Hera and Liry when they played the last year and a half. We talked about it. Liry, not full-time Age of Empires, spending a bit more time, you know, on life and whatnot. What a loser. Now, you know, living life, doing some things. I think he's got a full-time job now. At Hera, full-time Age of Empires. And it's those tiny little details which Hera's been able to use in the past. So that certainly has helped Hera here. And if there was any pressure on Hera, I imagine he's feeling a whole lot better about the start.
Yeah, and Hera, he still doesn't have loom either, right? But he doesn't have a single villager more than 8 tiles away from his town center.
Yeah, I really like the approach from Hera. And you could probably go for another full work. At the very least, if you end up farming around your TC, it's not like your farms are worse than your opponent's farms. So you still had the full work farms, which is fine. And I'd expect Hera to play very low risk from here. And poor Liry, What a helpless feeling. Like, he's looked at everything he could, and he's never going to find villagers until Hera moves out to that gold.
And now he's moving with the villagers. Loom in 40 seconds. Now the forward there, and I think this will be 8 really quick farms.
Yeah, I could see that. So he's not making any farms that aren't around the fulwark. And to repeat or just mention what should be the obvious for those that don't know, you get 10% of your farm's food immediately when you build a farm around a fulwark. So this is a big reason you might consider the poles. And I like the mill position as well. It's actually less efficient for the berries, but is really good for the farms.
But like most of the berries are still reasonably fine, right? Instant drop-offs. And how often do you go for the berries, right? You do like 12 trips, 13 trips, and 1 tile away. For the farms, you're constantly walking.
A little surprised at how much Hera's scouting at the moment. He's pulled 4 scouts to the left and 1 scout to the front here. So I would have maybe thought he would reverse that order, as he's leaving himself a little bit exposed. And this is what Liry wants. Liry wants revenge, and little rustiness here from Hera as well. I think it's worth it for Liry to dive for the Vil, and beautiful blocking there.
Yeah. Barely lost any HP. That's really nice. And, well, those scouts will get out of there. I'm a bit surprised that we don't see more spearmen at the front. I felt like Liry just going ham on spearmen and taking 3-4 aggressively could have paid off.
Yeah, could see that. Now, when I think about Huns, I think about Cav Archers, right? They do have the faster producing stable, which is nice, but it's really about the CA. And when you think about Liry, you normally think about range units as well. So Cav Archer is not as typical play, but I think it's so cheap with Huns that you might want to consider it in later stages. You know, there were actually eras of Age of Empires, though, where you would see straight Cav Archers, or you'd see Archers into crossbow, into Cav Archers, and I think that's more along the lines of what Liry might be thinking, because he's got the range up already now.
I'm not sure if Archers will actually make that much sense, though. I think he will go for like 3 Archers and not for crossbow at all. It's just like to force a tower, to force a bigger reaction from Hera.
And Hera might have to think now, do I want to add an archer range for a couple skirms? Those are the decisions he's going to have to make. For now, Hera's keeping a close eye on things.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes away from Castle Age, right? And Archers didn't even move out yet, so he could even start producing some more scouts pretty soon, and he shouldn't fear those Archers too much.
Hera did sell 100 stone to get the gold to click up because the timing wasn't perfect, but he could still make the second TC. And this feels like a perfect game for the poles. Farms around the fulworks. Scouts out in the field, more scouts on the way, eventually to upgrade to Lycav. And this, I mean, we've seen this so many times with Hera before, right? It feels like the perfect game for him to control. Obviously, though, he is up against Liry, who everyone I think you would talk to would put in the top 5 in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, more people are deciding, is he number 3 right now, which he was considered basically like for the last 2 years, or did maybe Mr. Yo overtake him? Because Mr. Yo's performances have been looking pretty hot recently. Yeah,
and again, just a small detail, right? Hera's being active with 4 scouts, but I've seen Liry not allow those types of moments right there as Hera killed that villager.
Well, we have to remind ourselves, right? Liry lost 2 villagers at the 7-minute mark into the game. Like, and now Hera, he has 600 more resources collected, and that's not all because of Pole's farms. That's like simply 2 villagers working extra for the last 8 minutes.
Yeah. Hera obviously did have a bit of a sloppy moment, lost his own villager. He's going to hope to prevent that here. Now, Liry will know that this army is going to die. So I think here you have to go for Vil picks and only Vil picks. But that's what I would do, Nilly. I'm not sure if I'd even get any. And then the army from Hera might be stronger. So Liry actually takes a pretty decent trade. He kills a lot of the scouts, and Hera would have wanted these to kill villagers at Liry's base later on. So I don't hate that engagement from Liry.
Yeah, worked out quite nicely. Also remember, if you go for a villager against Polt, you need to kill it. There's no option of like, okay, I get it down to 1 HP and we'll finish off it later. No, those Polish villagers will heal, so guaranteed damage against the light cav made sense here.
Yep, and now only 2 light cav for Hera to move forward with, a whole lot less effective than 5 or 6, which he had before. TC number 2 comes up for Liry again. Remember, Huns don't have to make houses, so you have the wood available for everything you want here. Cav Archer is very cheap. And cav archers could actually be a concern for poles because poles do lack the final armor upgrade on their cav later on. So I feel as though for Hera, it's going to be about getting a big eco lead, controlling the game with raids, but ultimately he's going to have to ignore any of the cav archer mass once it gets going.
Yeah. Also, as we said, CA typically countered by skirmishes. Also poles lacking the last armor upgrade for those.
Yep. That's a fair point. And another villager goes down. Well played from Hera there. And so 4-1 on the eco KD, but Liry did not want to chase those light cav. It was actually one of those situations where, yes, Liry lost a unit, but that's the correct play. Use your spearmen in defense, make Hera work for it, and then go forward immediately. And this is where those full works could be problematic for Hera. He's placed the ideal farms for the poles, but not for villager safety. He's got a Scorpion inside the Siege Workshop, but Liry has a Knight here to combine this with.
And completely skipping knights is really questionable. Conversion could be really crucial here.
And Monk will go down, and then the Knight can kill the Scorpion, and this is what Liry wanted in response, and maybe a little bit of greed here from Hera. And it looks like Liry's going to return the favor with the villager kills, and then some. Nice job here from Liry. And he's even going for the villagers that are next to the TC, so we can get 1 or 2 more snipes, and that's well played.
That's really sweet. That's really sweet by Liry. Adding a 3rd town center now. No, thinks better of it. Wanted to put it inside, but decides outside might be a bit better. Now monks again. It's important that Liry finds the kills.
Yeah, Hera didn't get a conversion with the other monk, though, right? He only killed 1 cav archer. Now the knight is in on the gold. And like Hera did her town center with the golds. The farms were never truly protected. And just like that, Bill counts even. Nice counterplay there from Liry.
And Hera, that was a greedy, greedy play. Him not going for knights, thinking that light cav will do the job, didn't pay off.
Yeah. That said, he did kill a lot of the army, so it's going to take time for Liry to build up. It's interesting. Hera not town centering the gold came down to the fact he sold 100 stone. He built this 2nd TC so we could collect the stone to make use of the Polish bonus, but also just get a bit more stone for the 3rd TC. So that kind of hurt him there. I think in theory, if he has the monks and the scorpions a little bit faster, he could convert the knight, scorpions hit the cav archers, and maybe he's fine. But, things about Hera and Liry sometimes, they bend, but they do not break. Hera, ult TC is exposed here, but he could trap the cav archers.
Oh, how much though, right? You can still move out on the outside. Was the death of 2 villagers, and those light cav aren't too excited to take this fight without the help of the scorps.
Yeah. When you're talking cav archers, there's upgrades that I feel are just necessary. That's not even questionable. You need to have fletching and bodkin, and then you need to have bloodlines. It would take those cav archers up to 70 HP. The knight as well would be affected by bloodlines. Just wonder if maybe Liry thinks he has that. It is also possible that he can't afford it right now. He's not floating a lot of food.
Yeah, just think about it, right? A knight benefits 20% from bloodlines. A CA, 40% HP increase.
Wow. Nilly math right there. And I like this from Liry. The Scorpions are Hera out of position. Not really playing to his mobile strengths. And the cav archers go right to the farms again. And again, we see the weakness of the poles and having to play a specific way here. Now, 12 villager kills from Liry. And Nilly, there's a lot of negativity from me and possibly from you at times with the start from Liry. He has responded.
Crazy. Yeah. But Hera also invited him to a response like this, right?
Yep,
Completely undefended farm eco, right? If you want to raid something of the poles, the farm eco is the main goal. And not having a tower there, not having knights there earlier, like, obviously Liry will punish you for that.
3 TCs behind this. Might even see a 4th TC. I think this is one of those maps where, Hera's on 4 already. It's definitely one of those maps where it almost always goes late. So a 4th and 5th town center wouldn't necessarily be something that I'd hate. You know what I would love to see here, Nilly?
Elite tokens.
Oh, you called it. Nice.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, seriously, eventually Hera might think about going for skirms. And then, you can still just go knights, right? So it's like, knights are still good against skirms, but you know what's better against skirms? Tarkins.
Is it actually? You...
Oh, That's
3,
true.
4, 7. I think it's always 1 damage if you have the last armor upgrade.
God, way to ruin it.
Sorry. But if you don't have the last armor upgrade, Tarkans are better.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Well, I mean, he doesn't have bloodlines now, so I don't know if I can believe in him to get the last armor upgrade. Oh, look at this force, though. Hera's completely surrounded here. There's army everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Such a nice move. Ballistics would be nice. Now he finally gets bloodlines as well. Scorpion count will rise. But now he's just toying with Hera.
Oh, man, it is a fight before bloodlines. We should mention that. So the HP is not where you want it to be right now if you're Liry, but bloodlines will complete in 10 seconds. The Cav Archers are being microed nicely. The Knight has an assist on all of these Scorpions. And Hera still has big army problems here, Nilly.
Absolutely sick. Bloodlines now finished, and it's 5 military units only for Hera. 4 light cav only on the field. That's not enough for a full defense.
No, it's not. He's trying to repair the Scorpions now. The light cav are not going to be good enough. And Hera is going to find it difficult to expand elsewhere because the Cav Archers are just going to keep coming. Like, Liry's making more of them. I will say the Scorpions did an amazing job. That is 326 HP out of 980 potential HP on the Cav Archers.
Yeah, pretty sick. And I think, honestly, Liry, in his shoes, I would be so scared I might try to get this army home somehow and repair. Because, like, 2 Scorpion hits, and this army is toast.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think since you're Huns, though, and since you have Hera on the back foot, he's just going to continue to move. The Cav Archers are pretty cheap in the first place.
Yeah. Also, like, the Liry approach simply is, okay, kill all the Scorps, and it doesn't matter how much HP my CA has.
Yeah, exactly. This could be, like, 20 HP, and Liry, if he never gets hit, is going to be completely fine.
Nice.
And that's what's happening, and it, you know, like, the best players have this sense of inevitability about them, right, when they get a lead. And we saw the 2 villagers go down. I felt like there's no way Hera lets it slip, but he just really lacked army this whole game. He's just dropping TCs everywhere.
Yeah. The big fight also with all his scouts against the 3 spearmen, 2 archer, right?
Yeah.
He lost like 4 scouts that could have been light cav. If he had those, they would have maybe held the first attack against the CA.
This is where it's fun to talk about styles, right? I feel like if Liry were Yo, there'd be 8 on stone or 10 on stone and villagers on the way forward already for a forward castle, right? But Liry more of an army control guy. And he's not really going to fortify any positions. I mean, it's also very typical of Hera to still not be dead. They'll have 95 villagers. Like, the defense is unbelievable.
But work efficiency has to be going down brutally now.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, worker efficiency. And, I mean, he's trying to sneak up stables on the side of the map, Nilly. Have you ever seen stables so desperate? On the right side there.
That's sick.
He's got too much eco to pay attention to. Hera doesn't even realize that he's losing these vills, as far as I can see. And I think the forward castle could come. And Hera making a defensive castle next to his starting town center.
Oh, man.
What in the world?
Oh, you're protecting against some of the raids then, but it's just like maybe felt like there wouldn't be a single spot where you can safely build it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the castle will probably go up. Did take Liry a second or 2 to notice. But Liry is fine with that, and he just moves along. And Liry's resource is climbing here, Nilly. And Hera's poles, he's still got a decent vill count, but he needs army here. And he's really struggled to get the food and the gold to be able to make the army. Oh, man, more exposed villagers for Hera.
And look at how many farms Hera has around town centers now. Like, most of them are not around the forework anymore.
Yeah, it's true. 25 villagers killed. 2 villagers down in feudal to this type of a lead meta from Liry. Like, what? What a crazy play. And you know me, Nilly. We never see freaking Huns played. I'm pumped. Liry's playing open. He doesn't have any walls. He's making tons of army. He's not playing defensive. This makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, Huns are honestly one of the most entertaining civilizations, right? Simply because of their super aggressive playstyle.
Yep. And that is unfortunately at times a weakness for them because players are so good defensively these days. But Hera may be taking it a little bit too far here with the poles. And Liry going to click up to the Imperial Age soon. And then it becomes a matter of like, if his Cav Archer mass is still at 40 and he gets imp upgrades, Hera can't even fight off with Scorpions anymore.
Yeah, true. Once you have Bracer there, it's just like you have longer distance, therefore have to move in less, and the Scorpions simply don't get the splash damage in as easily.
Yeah, and again, with the cheap Cav Archers, Liry doesn't really seem to care anyways, as he just continues to fight off the Scorpions. Hera is getting the unique tech, which I'll have you say, Nilly, because it's probably easier for you to say it, but...
Schlachter privileges.
Thank you. That means your knights cost less gold. You still need more than 8 on gold to produce out of however many stables Hera has.
Well, he has 13 on stone, generating gold for you.
True. Yep.
But it's still not enough. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
And also, those knights are complete trash once you have Bracer and Chemistry.
Yep. Fair point. Hera still needs 20 seconds to get final armor. He's only at 6 knights, and he's done a good job to survive here, but he is not thriving at all. Little counterattack from Hera. He killed a monk. I think we should give him some respect for that. I would not be counterattacking here. But Liry with a very defensive castle. Liry even mixing in pikes now as well. This is just an army composition I'm not sure Poles are prepared to deal with.
Yeah, I would be really surprised. Like, it has to be a big throw of a lot of CA that Hera will get very motivated to try to fight this one out in Castle Age against Imperial Age. Especially now that he sees Liry's also taking into pikes at home. If those are Halberdiers, one of your comeback mechanics, which is raiding, is taken away.
Yeah, Hera had this left corner for a bit and tried to farm there, then had to delete all the farms. It's so annoying to place the farms perfectly. To then have to delete them makes me sad.
That's why you never place them perfectly in the first place.
Exactly. It's why I never play Poles. And I mean, Liry did lose some Cav Archers. He had too many groups to follow, even for himself. But there's a whole bunch of pikes coming, and Hera hasn't clicked up to Imp yet. And he's just simply surrounded.
Hera continues this game.
Well, first game in what will be a very long series. Maybe doesn't feel like he's fully warmed up yet. Or maybe he's going to call the GG anyways. Not what I expected after the start there, but Liry proving everybody wrong, proving me wrong. How dare I think it's just inevitable when Hera gets 2 villager kills against Liry of all people. The game's going to end like that. Such a good job from Liry. The power of the Huns. 3 range Cav Archers. No one else, no other Civ can really justify that in eco like the Huns can. And one of the rare Hun victories in competitive Age of Empires 2 to start off the quarterfinal here.
Yeah, in a very long time, right? When was the last time? I don't even remember Huns being played for quite some time.
I can't remember either. Yeah. I can't tell you, Nilly. Because believe me, I would know, right? I would clickbait it like crazy. Actually, no, I thought the last one I remember was either a cross game.
Yeah, okay. Capoch on
cross.
Something like that, yeah.
The one that came to mind for me was actually Say My Name versus Survivalist in Silver in Titans League 3.
Okay.
He's like, that's far too specific. It does tell you a lot about the Poles, though, that Hera was still only 150 resources behind in what was collected there.
Yeah, that's sick.
But he did also have a total of 167 vills. He lost so many vills, he had to add so many more, and a lot of his food went into that. All right. Well, great stuff there. Liry gets the win. Draft-wise, Huns was also picked rather late, but so was Poles.
Yeah.
So both late picks.
Yeah, which is quite surprising, right? Because there are clearly some civilizations that are really solid and enclosed, but both players not really giving that priority. Obviously, enclosed, a bit more balanced than some maps where we have some crazy civilizations shine, such as Migration or Myrt.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like we could have easily seen that be Slavs versus Chinese there, you know? Like, it's not necessarily surprising because they probably are prioritizing other maps, but that's a fair point. I like that, though. Like, I feel like only the best of players can do it, but if you have enough confidence to get a win with one of your weaker civs to start off the series, that's the ideal scenario. To save your best civs for last. All right. Game 2 will start here shortly. We
are in the spec delay.
So Lands Madness Game 2, and I just had to double check Hera's team because he's picked Saracens on Land Madness.
Okay. That's special for him, yeah. I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a recent change with Saracens, right?
Oh, yeah,
so they
the
get
camels. Ooh.
they get more. What is it again? More HP on their camels, just in general. But I thought they had that before. I forget.
They had 10 HP extra, and I think now they have 25 HP extra.
What?
Isn't it like that? Yeah. Like, my feedback was for that is too much.
Yeah, my feedback was as well. When I saw
camel units plus 25% hit points.
What? Why?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
So Magyars kind of need to go CA. They can't, like, they built 2 knights max, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, and even that, like, you could argue, because, like, CA versus Camel is great, but Camels still eat you if they get hits. So if Hera could survive extra hits now, it could be really nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Zealotry, so removing Zealotry makes me very sad. But yeah, that's probably a big reason why Hera's considering it. Another thing is Saracens are known for some more unique openings too than Scouts, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But I don't want to say too much too early. Liry, just typical, changing his color for the next game. He always does this, but we'll switch him to red. And he's got the Magyars and expected Civ here, Nilly, for game 2. Hera trying something new with the Saracens.
It is not new in the Age of Empires world, right? We have seen Jordan play it. I think we have even seen Jordan play it against Hera in, like, TGM or something.
Okay.
But certainly something that Tato played. I think Doubt maybe as well. But yeah, not really your typical AM pick. Obviously trying to make use of the market. And, well, the crazy new camels. I think that could be a relevant factor in his Civ choice.
Okay, so to repeat it, prior to this, Saracens had plus 10 HP on all their camels. Now it's plus 25, which would mean they have 145 HP on camels in Castle Age.
Why not
right?
135? What?
Well,
yeah, 145.
on top of Bloodlines. 145 is wild. And maybe that's what Hera's thinking. Maybe he figures Magyars are going to go stable units. And if they're going stable units, camels are a good counter to that. Also could be going for some crazy archer play too. Saracens do have the market. Saracen archers also destroy buildings. So that is what is very unfun against the Saracens. It's like they can go camels, which they could do before, but now they can do it even stronger. But not only that, they have the archers. And then you don't know if they're going to go YOLO with the market too. Will they add farms? Will they send 10 villagers on the gold Tato style and buy the food? It's really tricky.
Yeah. And I think Lyrey's map, well, will simply force him into quite some aggression. He has 8 deer in the back in addition to the ones that he's already using and pushing in. So that could be really nice for a second mill. And yeah, we have to be more interested in the approach of Hera than of Liry because we are just expecting him to go scouts.
Yeah, agreed. Bit of an interesting map gen, right? Like, it is common for Land Madness to be very open, be very awkward. But this version of Land Madness, you can wall to the sides. And I can see it already. Obviously, Liry's going to be aggressive. But, like, to the right of his mill, he can use the edge of the map to the TC. To the left of his stone, he could use the edge of the map to the TC. And still have 3 stones, 2 golds, and the deer back there.
Yeah, that's sick. It's pretty sick.
I would be tempted to try that, and then I would lose army control. Which
not a lot
Liry
of wood though, right?
Gonna...
You have one single tree with what is that? How much wood is there in there? Well, it's still 8,000. That's actually reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over 9,000.
Yeah, you do.
It's actually over 9,000.
Okay, so Nilly, I said something. Ooh, should I spoil it now? I feel like it's very us humor for me to just tell you now instead of use it in the cast. So, you know, in the previous series when Jordan docked the east instead of the south in Four Lakes?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said it was unorthodox.
Ooh.
Unorthodox because
I got
the
it.
doc. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. But it was a mistake. Like you're over 9,000, so makes it even better.
Yeah.
So stable coming up now for Liry. Hera finds Liry's TC.
What do you think about Jordan's approach with his slavs on enclosed? I thought it was pretty unorthodoxy.
I was gonna say this must be a joke coming. Yeah, I agree. It was unorthodoxy as well. Yeah. Hera confirms it's gonna be scouts from Liry, and then Liry confirms it's gonna be archers from Hera. So, like we expected, Saracen's going on to gold. Now the balance for Hera will be when do you add the market? Because it's super cheap. It's 75 wood. I'd be adding the market now, but I can't win any games I tried to win with Saracen. So it's really, really hard to get it right.
Yeah, I think now makes sense, but what are you doing with those resources, right? Because if you only use one archer range, you always have the resources to produce the next archer. If you go stable, then you want the market a bit earlier, because then you can sell the stone, buy some food, and keep the stable running.
Yeah. I do like the early range from Liry. I know there is a temptation sometimes to just go full scouts, but the early range for a couple skirms to help out could be nice. Now, of course, if you make too many skirms, then Hera could always switch into scouts, but of course, we're a long way from that. Just things to think about. Liry loses the spearman, though. That's not something he will like, and he hasn't been able to find any damage against Hera.
Well, he knows about the archers, and yep, spearman dies. Now the big question mark indeed, as you said, like how many skirms do we want to go for? Like Magias doesn't hate to go mass scouts and skirms, because if the opponent wants to counter you with their own scouts, then yours are still cheaper.
Yeah, and Hera, he doesn't know about that, but I like how he's checking now. He might just be trying, actually, I think if anything, he's trying to pull Liry out of position here, and Liry gets some hits. But Hera is not going to take Liry over for those archers. Now, Hera scouted that back corner. The wood's there. The hunt is there. There is so much there. If only Hera had fletching, this could kill so much.
Let's see what he can do. But like even if he only killed the 6 deer, that alone would be a reasonable value. But he will easily get at least 1 villager.
Yeah, and the villagers will have food in their hands here too. So Hera's got to be careful. And Liry hasn't seen any army from Hera for some time. Let's see what his reaction is. Hera fights before fletching.
Oh boy.
Honestly, it could have been much worse for Liry here. Skirm's going to be on the way. Hera needs to kill a villager, and got it. Surely the scout will get it.
Right.
Yeah, well played. Now
Hera
Hera has to drop a tower. That's such a good tower from Hera, because otherwise he would lose villagers. And now it becomes awkward for Liry to engage. And now the archers are still going to work here for Hera. Just the starting scout and the archers. Needs a response here. Eco is really awkward for Liry at the moment, but he's still holding on.
I think I'm trying to kill like 2 deer and then try to get out of there. But maybe I'm just too greedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things went wrong for Liry here beyond just the villager loss, too. He had got housed, so he had some idle time. And he doesn't exactly have a good eye on those archers still. And that could be another villager kill. I'm really surprised that he's come back to the deer. Maybe just press go back to work. And didn't think Hera would still be around here.
Oh, yeah. And Hera, sometimes it makes sense to completely go home, right? Because you think, okay, this army will always get cleared up. But Hera, greedy enough, and thinks he can find the damage, and he got rewarded.
Also, Liry did not use his scout against Hera's scout. So Hera's scout
Scouts in the town center.
Ooh, man. Hera's played Saracens very nicely here thus far. This opening has been really nice, and we still haven't seen him use the market yet either.
Yeah. So right now he played a generic civilization.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, that can be good, because sometimes you use the market too much and you don't have standard economy. Now, I think would be a natural time for Hera to drop the market and maybe consider adding some of his own scouts here. But Liry does have a lot more army than him. 14 army. There's only 1 tower for Hera, but he picked a good spot for it next to the berries, farms, and the gold.
The thing is, after you build the tower, your market is getting less exciting. Right?
That's
Because
fair.
typically you want to sell the 200 stone, generate it into 200 food basically. But that's not going to happen for you after you build the tower.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Liry loves his hunt. He even walked over to the hunt on the other side. So he's like, this guy's going to be taking deer and imp at this rate.
What is happening?
Well, now he's sending Vils forward to tower the gold, but he doesn't have army here. Liry's got to be careful.
Oh, Archer's
That's
doing
like
lots
the
of damage.
skirms.
Oh!
Oh, wow. All right. Hera didn't see the villagers. And I think this is the Saracen effect. If you're a generic civilization and Hera's and you look at Hera's base, I feel like no one would want to tower that gold. But when you're up against Saracens and you think they could be up to Castle Age already, you want to tower that gold.
Yeah. Like you think like you're taking more than the gold away. You're taking so much out of the economy away.
Yeah.
And it feels like Liry also knows that all the golds are open. And it is indeed the case. So like if he walls in this tower, he just needs to camp the left-hand side and there won't be any more gold for Hera.
Willy wall in the tower. And then again, Hera can sell stuff to get gold. But then it's like you're selling wood to buy food. And it's just the markets get all out of whack here. And there's the stable for Hera as Liry moves over to the other side. There's the beginnings of a wall around the tower, and Hera's taking another risk. This is very similar to the previous game. He's looking for gold on the right. He's never scouted anything there, though, Nilly.
Oh, well, that's really risky. I thought he was easily going for that gold, but that's so exposed. Oh, that surprises me.
Yeah, even just going over there without an outpost is a surprise. Maybe it's for wood, but Hera is without gold with the civilization that wants to have it and is making scouts staying in feudal age to try and breathe a bit. And those villagers still walking around for gold. No outpost yet from Hera. Is he going to find it?
Oh, it could easily be a mill. Because he thinks, this hurts so much. Looking for gold. So close and yet so far.
If Liry's really paying attention, he will see the deer are dead on his screen and send some units over there. He's just looking for villagers right now. But he probably assumes Hera will just be on food and wood. That is obviously the case. A deer, very risky. I could easily see Liry never looking over there, though. Lots of focus on the front right now.
This is the Magia dream, though, right? You can play extended feudal age. You can go for lots of scouts, queues up 2 more scouts. You take the Saracen player away from gold. Liry has to love this game.
Yeah. You know what would be so nice is a couple outposts to the left and the right of this tower. Just so you can ever see if Hera moves out with those archers. Because Liry's confirming that Hera's got the archers here, which is a good thing for him to confirm. But there's always going to be moments where Hera might consider a counterattack. And big fight here. No bloodlines on the scouts, though, for Liry. So Hera might be happy with the fight. And Hera's scouts are trading pretty nicely against the opponent's scouts, but he's losing all of his archers in the process.
All of them, though. He keeps some alive. Skirms are dying. Hera has to be happy with this one. Had forging, had bloodlines. On the other side, only 1-1. No bloodlines. Ay. Hera with a nice clear.
And he sees the gold with the hunt, and he used the market without gold to be able to click up to the next stage.
Sick.
And then Liry's just going to be stuck in feudal age here. That was very well played.
Yeah, and floating some food. Maybe the second stable earlier could have been an option. Did he miss that he doesn't have bloodlines?
I think he would have assumed he had
that's it now.
bloodlines, and now maybe he's thinking what went wrong in that fight for me. Now he knows he didn't have bloodlines, and Hera's just getting more crucial hits here. This is not the time Liry wants to be taking poor fights.
Yeah, and what's really important here, if you're ever in this position like Hera, that you continue producing scouts. Like, you want to keep up the pressure onto the opponent, want to kill more skirmishers. Don't take your foot off the gas.
Yeah, and also continue to produce, well, at least in the mid-feudal, continue to produce archers, because that was the other core difference of that fight. Archers are doing a lot of damage versus scouts. Skirms are not. So Liry's skirm army just simply doing 1 damage to the scouts that we now know Hera had more HP on. And the poor Liry, he's going to be... he's been the aggressor a lot of this game, but he's still going to be taking some losses here, and Hera's going to be on knights in the next stage. This might just be over.
That's so sick. And that's quite some dead villagers here. How much is he losing? Maybe up to 3 even.
Yep. And this is a throwaway army in many ways, right? Just simple archer, scout army. Obviously, the scouts will maybe get a little bit more value. Hera now has killed 5 Vils. And I got a feel for Liry here because The sneakiness of Hera with the archers must have been frustrating. And then he just took the guy completely off of gold for like 3 minutes. And Hera still clicked up because of that market.
Yeah. And he also continued with archer production, right? That feels so unfair.
Yep. And that's why people ban Saracens right there. And that's exactly why Hera picked him. Very well played from Hera. Gets the job done. We didn't get to see a single camel. So the conversation may continue. Some people are fans. Some people aren't a fan of that change to the camels. Didn't matter here for Hera. The scouts and the archers got the job done. And, you know, if Bloodlines was in there, does Liry win that fight? Like, I'm still thinking, even if it's a 50-50 trade for Liry at that fight at Hera's base, he's still not up to Castle Age.
It was just
I guess maybe he needed the second stable earlier.
I honestly think, like, going for those deer at the left side, yeah, deer is fast, but still, like, isn't that too long?
Yeah, maybe just farms, and then your eco's a bit better there. It's always tough to look at the res collected when the market's used a lot because it doesn't subtract. So, I mean, here we're looking...
now it does.
Really? They changed it so it subtracts now?
That's the last update. Yeah. So, like, Hera's...
Oh, wow.
Like, the res collected should now reflect it. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was news to me. I'll take your word for it. With that being the case, then, 1,200 resources collected for Hera and 9,300 resources collected for Liry. So something went wrong there because Liry wasn't ahead in any single resource collected. And he was the one who had, in my opinion, the better map, like the more access to deer and whatever else. But I think also we should credit Hera. He didn't rely solely on the market. He had good eco balance with the market. It wasn't just market, which is what allowed him to have those numbers there.
Yeah. Also, do we think that maybe building a mill at the bottom could have helped out Liry as well?
Yeah.
Because there was, like, as I said, like, how many deer? We had 8 deer on one spot. So it felt so natural to build a mill.
Yeah, I mean, Hera I guess Hera was more of an escape on the right, but he made a mill, right? And it feels like, I guess the other deers were a bit closer, but yeah, some things went wrong there. And at the end of the day, Magyars, a little predictable. They opened with scouts. Hera didn't allow that scout opening to do much. And then Magyars looked worse and worse as the game went on. Not the first time we've seen it. So score 1-1 here. Hera, good bounce back game that maybe he needed mentally a little bit because I'm sure it could so easily have been kicking himself after how the first game went in this series.
And both players with really late picks so far out of their draft. So the crazy civs clashing will be postponed for some later games.
Yeah, that's true. Next map is going to be Migration. I see Liry's pick. And Hera doesn't have Japanese, Italians, Malay, or Dravidians on his draft because Liry picked all of them.
That's interesting that Dravidians are not being picked here, though.
Oh, true. It's Italians instead.
Are we picking Dravidians for Kavasan then? We have to.
Maybe. All right, game 3. They are in. They've wasted no time here. And I want to talk about... I'm going to have to repeat myself for people who watch in video form later. Liry had Italians, Dravidians, Japanese, and Malay on his draft. All civilizations that would probably be in like the top 6 conversation for this map, right? So he had all the choice of them. He goes for Italians here. And Italians are one of the best, of course, with the cheap fishing ships, cheaper dock techs, cheaper to go up to the next stage. Hera goes for the Byzantines. And I feel like the Byzantines might perform a little bit better in the 9 villager start we have here. What do you think?
I think it's pretty close. I think Italians might be slightly better on 3 villager start, but I think it's barely a difference.
Okay.
I think what made Byzantines so crazy is the addition of Dromans. I think Dromans is one of the most broken things we have in Age of Empires right now, and people don't know yet.
Ooh, that is a clickbait title if I've seen it. Especially if we see Dromans here. So, Droman, the Mangonel / Cannon Galleon
of the sea
ship of the sea that you can make an imp.
Yeah.
And Huns get it. Goths get it. Byzantines get it. Is that it? It might be more.
I think Romans get it. I think
that would make sense.
The 2 new civs, one of them might get it. I don't know. And like Byzantines even have a unique tech that lets them fire faster. You can also ground attack. You don't need chemistry to get it. Byzantines get to imp earlier. Like this is such a crazy unit.
Look at this crazy build order. In TTL, we saw a lot of fast castling and whatnot, but we've seen these crazy fast uptimes. Liry is making a transport ship. He's clicked up to feudal. He is going to transport, and he's going to walk to the other side of the water here and try and make a dock there to kill Hera's fishing ships.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And we have seen like very different approaches of this, right? We have seen double dock, we have seen triple dock, we have seen double dock and people building fish behind it. We have seen some all-ins. So this will be interesting to see how much Liry's committing and how many fishing ships he can snipe.
Yeah, I mean, everything is at the limit here, but cheaper feudal age certainly helping. And he needs the lumber camp, which he has at home. And now he needs to get the dock down, which he can do. I also have noticed a lot. Now, this is like the second Migra game I've casted in Warlords. But I've noticed with all the extra buffaloes in the middle, I feel like that actually plays a bit of a role for the person that goes forward. Because the scouts there might collect like 8 to 10 buffalo that can then be transported back to the starting TC for later on.
Yeah.
So you don't have the fish, but you have the buffaloes too. I like that.
Hera plays an interesting counter strategy here. Defensive, medium speed, feudal age. Like, this is the counter to what Liry is doing. If Liry is fast castling, Hera's build is horrible.
Yeah, the thing, though, is it a counter? Were there mind games involved here?
I think
now
so.
He sees feudal age. So now he knows that there must be a dock, and he sees it.
Yeah.
But he had to decide to do this before he saw anything. So we'll see how Hera fares, but faster working fires for the Byzantines. High HP on all the buildings, which includes the docks. And now it's going to be 3 docks against 2. So if Liry doesn't get value from his early fires, I'm with you. I think Hera being a better spot, 4 fishing ships, which he's got hidden on the right side, and the better fire ship civ.
And Liry is not building any fishing ships at home. Therefore, Hera is fine if he was to lose some fishing ships, which isn't even happening. Liry's scouting to the wrong direction.
Yeah. Again, there's just so much you're in the dark on this map. And this is that time window. This is your moment. And so you know they're going to have fish. You just don't know exactly how they're going to play it. And this is that new meta with the 9 vills we've seen. I'm really curious, like if we were to go back to 3 vills for the rest of the Migra games, if people would change their builds.
I don't think it's a difference.
Yeah. Okay. So you think it's just simply people getting better?
Valuing differently. You have a bit more control. And obviously TTL also had more fixed distance. So fast castle was a tiny bit better simply on the map, how the map is generated.
Okay. Yeah, fun to think about. 3 fires here for Hera. This is what we talked about. Had Hera gone fast castle, he wouldn't have any fire ships yet. He'd be losing all of his fish. And Liry's got to be thinking, like, what in the world? And, you know, on paper, Neely, this now looks really bad for Liry. It's like you're taking the fire ship fight to the best fire ship civilization. But I think also on paper, it's easier for you to get to feudal age faster.
Demo?
So maybe make
2
sense.
fishing ships?
Demo?
Oh!
What a find from Hera! That's huge.
And that's no repair. That's reduced income there. Hera can't be broken in water now. That's maximum of 2 docks now. This is so massive.
Yeah. Remember, Liry drafted a lot of civilizations that could be like good on this map and good in standard scenarios. 4 fishing ships at home for Liry. He is making a fire galley defensively, but you've got the 1 defensively, and then you've got the 2 that he's retreating with against Hera's just 1 pushing forward. So Hera's going to have most of his fire galleys to defend himself. And it feels like if Liry ever tries to advance past Hera's docks, he's just going to get rocked with a demo.
What was Jordan's last round in this tournament? Wasn't Jordan, like, landed or facing something similar here?
And Nikov. Against Nikov.
Against Nikov? And then he added fish really early on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was. That's what I've seen with everyone. Viper did it against Liry as well, actually. And Viper beat Liry with Byzantines going forward. But I've never seen the Italians go forward, especially against Byzantines. But, you know, I'll give Liry the benefit of the doubt. It is obviously easy for us to say that this doesn't look great just based on Hera's decision to go mid-feudal age like this.
I also mean like Hera could add some fishing ships right now, right? Because
yeah.
he knows he won't be broken on water. He has the better fires and he has more. But trying to find damage on the other side is also like such a long trip for your ships. So just adding like 4 or 5 fishing ships could pay off.
Yeah, res collected's not that different. And the thing we talked about before is the water buffaloes, right? So Liry doesn't have to add a single farm before clicking up the castle age. Hera's about to run out of water buffalo. And Liry adding the market in the middle too. So he could use the market to maybe click up the castle age a bit faster here.
Resources destroyed is the big story. Those are the first real hits. That the demos are dying there. Before that, it was the perfect game.
And we could see a demo from Liry here. So much to pay attention to. Hera not paying attention. Hera gets rocked. That's the perfect demo for Liry to respond with. Very good job from him to add a couple fishing ships at home, get back on the land, and have his scout active there.
Okay, now some more dance. Next demo could go in deep.
Oh, wow, that micro was... I don't want to jinx the guy. Okay, well, micro was initially very good from Hera, but the demo pays off again here for Liry.
And, oh, that was a nice micro again. 4 HP, pulls that one back. And Liry on the way to Castle Age, while Hera is a tiny bit later.
Okay, Hera does have fires, though, that have looped the whole way around. He actually somehow found the water buffalo. And so he is hiding there. But he's unable to kill any fishing ships yet. I like the fact that Hera's gone over there, but obviously we've seen the weakness of Hera's decision to come over here because he didn't have the fires at home.
Can he save the fire, Gally? Yes, he can. Block off the fishing ship and the villager repairing. Nice move by Liry at home.
Yeah, and then Hera tries to demo the Vils again. The Vils were not on the box turtle anymore. They were told about the potential that could happen. Because I'm sure the first time Liry never expected that to be possible.
Yeah.
And Hera just now about to click up. Should also mention he's just now making a transport ship.
Oh,
so he hasn't been in the middle at all.
Oh, look at that. Clicking up with like close to 1,000 food now. Oh, and that hurts.
So we've talked about this before. The fires for Byzantines are actually still really good when it's feudal age fires against castle. Yeah. It's very even. Where the difference will come in is actually the demos here. And also the upgraded fires kill fishing ships a lot faster. But I do still feel like if Liry isn't careful with his own fish, that Hera's group of 4 fires could possibly do something over at his base.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I'm a bit surprised that Liry is actually moving out there. Just camping next to his fish could be an easy thing for him. It's really important that he tags War Galley at home, though, so that the 2 docks at the front can properly continue producing.
Yep, he's doing that. Also, maybe TC in the middle, which he's also doing. So good stuff from Liry. Hera bringing Vils. No doubt he'll TC the middle. That's unlikely to be denied. And Hera's got more ships right now. He's got 10. Well, it's even, actually, but he's got more fires anyways. And the scouts have found each other. Liry notices there's villagers now, and Hera's worried. He's paranoid, so he'll add a barracks for some spears. Because sometimes players will have scouts roaming around in the middle beyond just their starting scout.
Yeah, or just the barracks to maybe go for a scout himself as well. He obviously likes to play some light cav, get a bit of map control for himself.
Nice demo there from Hera, because otherwise the demo would have hit his ships, but he doesn't have another one. This allows Liry to advance forward. You don't want the fishing ships here. You want the Navy, Liry. And he's moving. Hera sees it. And this is really good for Liry right now. It feels like Hera needs some counter damage if he can find it with his own fires. They're waiting in the south. Liry didn't find them somehow. I think he forgot about those ships he had in the south.
Oh, tough. Look at that Mexican standoff there at the bottom. Hera maybe waiting for the upgrade before he moves in.
Yeah, and I think he'll clear all the fish and maybe even the transport ship.
Oh, demo could be good. Right-hand side.
Demo will land. It lands, but not in the way that Liry would have wanted. He still has good dock control of Hera's side, though. Again, Hera needs to send his ships in towards the fishing ships from Liry. Liry's not expecting this, especially because Hera was so patient there. So as Hera will take losses at home, I actually think this will be a very even game once he kills these fishing ships.
Feels like it. And those fishing ships just got This food upgrade? How is it called again?
Gill nets.
Gill nets. Yeah, gill nets. So they really wanted to benefit from that. Actually, they're moving away.
He's gonna dock the left.
Ooh.
I don't know which villager is being told to dock the left because I'm not seeing a villager move over there. But that is where the fish are going. I imagine Liry might have misclicked whatever villager he wanted to send over there.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, that's really good here. Like, the timing on that is actually perfect because Hera's now moving in.
Yeah.
But I think we have an even game. And in an even game, where res collected is probably even, right now it's like dead even. I think I prefer Byzantines the longer the game goes on.
Unless there's a condo timing. Yeah, that's the big power spike for Italians, obviously. Yeah, imp timing, cheaper for both of them. You get some more upgrades, but condo is kind of the killer unit that if Liry, for example, gets control between the main island and Hera's island and can land with condos, that could kill Hera.
Yeah, would love to see a demo here from Liry. He's got one in queue. He doesn't have repairs. He does have a couple monks around. And both players might consider converting ships here, but still the docks are there, and Liry is forcing Hera to continue to invest into water to control the shoreline.
Demo? Okay-ish.
Oh, Millie, the fish. Liry clicked the fishing ships onto a fish, but the dock's not completed yet, so they're going to the closest dock to drop off the food. Oh no, Liry.
Oh, this could be bad.
Yeah. And demo's good though. That's nice. And meanwhile, the dock at home for Liry is something he needs to defend. Migration is so tricky to defend. And Hera's going to be like, he clicked the fish to the front? What was that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that's really nice for Hera. And I think it all snowballs down to Hera sneaking the fire ships to Liry's side. That's what this comes back to, right? Mm-hmm. It's such a good job from Hera to do that because now Liry's made a mistake that could have otherwise, been avoided.
And it's crazy that Liry actually lost his starting dock. That
true.
Really hurts.
Also, these buffalo have switched sides so many times on Liry's island. They've been blue, they've been red. They've been blue, they've been red.
I think Hera just moved them, tried to body block, but Liry then took them and sent them away.
Also, still 2 ships stuck in the south for Liry. They've been there a long time. Really, they've been there for like 5-10 minutes now. 3 TCs for Hera and a TC on stone, so he's mining stone there. What I don't like is how cramped everything is. Like, Hera seems really scared. Like, he has no space for farms around those TCs, so he's actually using the starting island for the farms. And that's something both players have been doing.
Yeah, starting island makes lots of sense, right? Because you are running out of resources there naturally, and you're not running out of farms as long as you reseed. So having wood and gold and stone income on the main island and farms on your home island is kind of the setup that you're aiming for long term.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's something that is too often forgotten by players. And now we have some monks and some spears in action. Hera's going to use that scout. And he does kill the monk. Well played from Hera, but we might have a bit of a siege push coming from Liry.
Okay, which is nice. Obviously, he doesn't really think he can kill Hera there, but just like getting more map control there, putting a bit of pressure, and maybe forcing Hera into a more defensive castle than Hera ideally wanted to go for.
I have to say, like, I was concerned coming into this. Like, the last time I casted these players, it wasn't too long ago. There's some question on Liry's preparation, at least, right? But this does look really, really close. Exactly what was advertised. And it still could go either way. One demo, one siege hit, one decision could break these players to again run into each other before a final.
Well, it's tough, right? If you're that good that there are very few people to eliminate you out of tournaments, it's kind of destined that you will face each other often.
That's true. Especially when it's group stage, right? One of the players underperforms a little bit in the group stage. Might end up running into each other, and that's gone back and forth between the two of them, right? Hera didn't get first seed in TTL. I think Hera also
TTL he took it. Liry didn't, right? Because
Liry didn't. Liry lost against Viper. That's what it was. Yeah.
But Hera was on the way to not to get it.
Yeah. That's where my brain went. So Hera wanted a castle to defend from this Nilly. He has the stone for the castle, but it's so awkward now because the siege is already here from Liry. I think maybe a castle to the right on your gold. I don't know.
It's not pretty. There might even be an option to not build the castle for quite some time. Try to clear up the mangonel, clear up the rest with the crossbows. But Hera feels like just have more defense here makes lots of sense, but thinks better of it.
Yeah, he started to place the castle. It would have been spotted by Liry, so it's good that he didn't build more of it. And Liry now is thinking, you're going to build a castle, so I have to go find that. But he's also torn, because at the same time, he probably should be thinking, well, I could also take the TC, which is also still really good for me.
That's not a pretty castle.
Yeah, castle's going to defend some stone. It does not defend any of the eco, and it just came down to the timing from Liry. He wanted the timing initially with the docks. But man, how stubborn has he been, Nilly? Like, those docks are still pumping out ships here.
Yeah, quite some repairs there.
So difficult for Hera right now.
And that's 1800 HP, and Byzantines actually killed docks quite quickly there. And as you can see, now doing the damage against the docks when he actually wanted to do damage against the fires.
Yeah, it's true. TC could go down, and like, I think you would assume that Hera's starting TC would be the Imp TC. But that might be the only TC that he's going to have by the time we get there. Hera with archers, no crossbowmen yet. Playing a dangerous game.
That's wild. Against 3 mangonels? And like,
yeah,
that's crazy. Like 30 HP, like so many are dying from the extra stones as well.
You know what else would be crazy is if this castle gets denied by archers, of all things. Archers. Archers, Liry. Archers are on the way. He doesn't see the archers. Are you kidding me? This would never happen to you or me, Nilly. How does this happen?
He can
Hera
pull more
scouts
builds.
it.
No.
Hera scouts it. That castle's going to be denied by archers.
No. House wall, mangonel, nothing happened,
That was
Tristan.
so good. And
Nice
then Hera
concept.
runs directly into the mangonel. Oh, man. What a play there from Liry.
Repair. No.
Still, though, majority of the army went down for Hera. It gets very little value there.
Mangonel
And
dance.
he's still losing this TC.
Where do you shoot? Monk? Mangonel? Goes for the mango.
Yeah, Mango's a good choice. TC's still down. It's cheaper for Byzantines to go Imperial Age. You should normally be winning the Imp battles. That has not happened here. Crossbow's still denying castles, as Liry wants to go for a second one, but that's going to be short-lived because another siege unit's on the way. And what a game here from Liry and Hera. What a series. It's super close right now, but I prefer Liry's position.
Yeah, feels like it, right? Still, condo landing is an option with the control. The 2 castles, very defensively. 4 archery engines, and it just feels like Liry. With all those mangonels out, that's nice to defend off the first ball of crossbows. And after that, maybe just go adding some skirms could be nice. And he's already having 3 archery ranges and pumping skirms.
Yeah. But, like, Byzantines have cheaper skirms. Byzantines have more HP on their buildings. Their castles are insanely tough to take down. Hera has 2 castles with enough stone to make a third and maybe even a 4th. Hera has range units already. Hera actually is going to maybe try and transport those range units, which could be really good if he can do it. Like, I've seen Hera hold in worse positions. I think he could definitely hold here, but he doesn't have the map control. So eventually he will run out of resources here.
Yeah, and like Liry, like setting up all those castles, trap production will be crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if he prioritizes chemistry quite quickly as well. Builds the university only now, so early chemistry is not an option. But I also think like fast firefight won't stop soon.
Yeah. If there was ever a time for Liry... Oh, nice micro from Hera. If there was ever a time for Liry to remember those fire ships in the south, this would be it. Like, they're just sitting there. They're not on patrol. I could see Liry kind of running out of gas at some point with this early imp push. If crossbows show up to his starting island, that's going to be so annoying. He doesn't have docks here. He can't make galleons. He doesn't have a siege workshop here.
Well, maybe those 2 fires there. The perfect one will actually kill at the landing.
Yeah, that's true. Crossbows will make it. Hera getting good upgrades now. So many castles from Liry. He's like, how do I win a Treb war against Byzantines? More Trebs.
Oh, crossbows ambitious.
Oh, man. This is where Liry might even be distracted because of Hera's transport. Hera accidentally dropped it on the lily pads. They couldn't move. They're there now. Oh, man.
Has to be some dead builds. Ballistics in as well. Bracer in. Oh god, those will be good. Now the panic tower against it.
Yeah, multiple towers that could be castles or could be stone to repair, right? And now the Trebs move forward. Let's see. Can Hera hold here? And the amount on food is staggering. 40 on food for Hera. Majority that's farm, so that'll last forever. And then for Liry, he's got 26 on food. But a lot of his farms are delayed at the moment.
Yeah. I think he will get up to 30 pretty soon as well. Add some more double monk build at home, another tower. Like, that was a very big reaction to 5 crossbows.
Yeah, that's exactly what Hera wanted there. Creative move. Skirms from Hera, focus down the Mangonel. I would like to see Hera make a ram or a Mangonel out of his siege workshop. I know he was waiting for bombard cannons, but I think something there could have been helpful.
Yeah. The ram is actually a pretty nice idea. Because Liry, what is he doing against that? Like, is he... I don't even know. The pikemen are all dead now.
Yep, that's true. The Trebs firing. Cataphract is the choice for Hera. Made a couple of them out of his castles, which means he hasn't been making Trebs. But the Cataphracts could help against the Skirms, and the monks are out of the way for Liry, and Hera's population is the same. And Byzantines have cheaper units, and Hera has 30 more Skirms in queue, and you cannot break Byzantine castles, Nilly. Hera's gonna hold this, it looks like.
It's like it, indeed. Lots of stone repaired into that, but he still has 1,300 in the bank.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, if Liry decides to stay here, which he might feel like he has to, right, to force the issue, he will lose all his Trebs, and he won't have any way to defend his castles then.
And this is a bit stubborn against Byzantines, right? We wanted to see the Condor landing. Look at how open Hera's main island is as well.
Yep. I could even see a world where some players would even go, like, Galleon or something. Like, Doubt would be going Galleon right now. Speaking of, with not a lot on water, we should remember Dramens are possible. But, you know, Hera, maybe not of the same opinion we are. That Dramens can be really good. I think your words were the most OP thing in Age of Empires right now.
One of the most, yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And the good news for Liry is he has time for himself here because he has so many castles. So you can kind of give up one. Losing this castle doesn't lose control of this area. Wow, what a... Oh, the bombard cannon went down to the Treb. That's so frustrating.
Yeah. And now 3 bombard cannons for Liry and some nice ground attacks.
Yeah, really good ground attacks. And I guess you can make skirms all day if you're Byzantine, so you still don't want to lose them by 5 or 10 at a time. And both players getting more upgrades right now for whatever units they're thinking of here, but looks like mainly Cav. Hera with some nice split micro. And Liry's bombard cannons are preoccupied with the skirms. Hera seems happy to let that happen, so his Trebs and bombard cannons can hit the castle. Oh, man.
Micro, really nice. Kills the
It's
trap.
really hard to call this one right now. But Hera's got tons on stone. He's got 1,800 stone in the bank with 23 on stone. Liry doesn't have anything on stone.
How much gold does Hera have? He has 3,000 there. So he's still okay-ish. And he mainly goes for skirmishes as well. So he has time.
Yeah, he does. More skirms are in the queue. There's not much in the queue for Liry. He's not floating as many resources. And while bombard cannons went down for Hera here, rather, Hera's able to take the castle out. It's just, can he get to the cannons from Liry right now?
I think Hussar will be a crazy surprise. Hussar tech is ready. He only has 3 on the field, but prepared enough stables. Oh, this will be... How many Hussars are you waiting for? I think if you have like 8 till 10, you're completely overwhelming Hera.
Yeah. I think then Hera, though, he does have enough ranges to just instantly go Arbalest.
True.
You know, like, maybe, like, it's common, instead of trying to go Howl, to just queue up a bunch of archers, because archers will do better against the Hussars.
But
And
they will take some time to produce, because the 30 skirms in the queue have to finish first.
That's true, and then you have to cancel them. I think Hera might even be thinking about elite cataphract here. Like, his resources
Sick.
are ridiculous. He did get the Cav armor, but we're not seeing much more commitment from him. What a game. And Nilly, it's not just going to be Hussar, but it's going to be Hussar with full armor for Liry when he shows them.
Yeah.
Well, not quite.
To go. He already moves them in. I think that's a bit early. Don't like it.
Yep, here they go. Now Hera. Let's see what Hera's reaction is here. Could drop barracks as well as queue up crossbows. As well as make cataphracts, because he's getting elite cataphract on a water map.
Yeah, something we don't see too often. But his castles are super safe.
Yep. And I mean, he's dropping some crazy castles too. Like the castle in the south, I think, is a little ambitious. And the castle in the north is ambitious. Liry should forget the army, because it's mainly skirmishers. Oh, shot! And he just needs to go for those castles right now.
Yeah, maybe he could go for cannon guns on the side. I'm actually surprised how little water investment we see. Both players fully focusing on land.
Also, if you have castles, you have Genoese crossbowmen, and Genoese crossbowmen should be really good here against some cataphracts. I wouldn't mind Liry making some. He is already, but here comes Hera. Trebs and bombard cannons scoping to push these castles.
Are they, though?
And
I think Genoese shouldn't have too much, right? I think they shouldn't do any extra damage.
really?
Well, cataphracts have
Catas resist bonus damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do they resist it from Genbos as well?
Yeah, every anti-cavalry bonus, and I think they have like minus 18. I would be surprised if it's a Genbo has plus 18.
Yeah, these skirms from Hera are going so far through here. He lost all of his trebs there. Still trebs from Liry that he could use against the other castle from Hera. What a game, Nilly. This game is insane.
Yeah, really beautiful. And like migration, I was very critical of the addition of migration for TTL, but it has really proven some great games over the last 3-4 months.
Yeah, and it's been fun to see the 9 villagers start as well, and what it can do. Hera's cataphracts will dive in for the trebs between 2 castles, but the cataphracts don't care. But now at the same time, Hera's bombard cannons are exposed against the hussar. Hera might need to consider a halb meat shield here, being Byzantines.
Yeah, would also work out quite nicely in the sense that he doesn't want to invest too much gold, right? Bombard cannon number 3 dies now as well.
Yeah, crazy. Wow, what a game, though. I mean, this game could still continue to go on here. I think we're at a point where Hera should run out of gold soon, right? I'm looking. He's got 22 on gold, but the gold tiles I'm looking at are down to 1. So it's like 500 gold remaining. Obviously, he still has res banked, but that's something to consider here. Liry's got gold and stone everywhere available at home.
Yeah, Hera kind of needs to sneak around.
Well, if
Maybe
Genoese
the gold
crossbowmen are bad against cataphracts,
Arbalists are reasonable.
yeah, I don't know if Liry knows. Like, if I didn't come to the conclusion that Genoese crossbowmen might not be good, no offense, Liry, but I don't think he encounters the situation enough to maybe realize that.
even. Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, Logistica, trample damage for the Catas. Oh god, the skirms are getting destroyed though. So many bombard cannons. I like how Hera spread them out there. That's what you should be doing if you're diving in. Wow, what a game.
Passes in the front. Now we can see how much damage the Genoese are providing.
They're not elite Genoese crossbowmen either. So it's 6 + 4 attack, 45 HP. The cataphracts and the skirms, they seem to be winning the fight, or at least protecting the trebs. There's not much protection for the bombard cannons now that the castle's down. And Hera's got more army. He's got the better army. And while Liry has control of gold, he's not really mining that much gold. He doesn't know what to do, Nilly.
Oh man, and Cavalier might actually be the right unit against what we are seeing on the field. But now that means the castle is falling and Hera can reclaim another gold. Another 2.8k gold that could be invested into more traps, more bombard cannons, and more cataphracts.
Yeah, and he is still as that castle, that risky castle, or so what I thought, in like the middle-ish north area of the main island. So he has that. He'll have the rest, and Cataphract beats Cavalier. Cataphract has better stats. So, worrying signs for Liry, who's got to be thinking, how do I stop Byzantines right now?
Yeah, I think the only way is really to play Arbalest, and I honestly am really disappointed that we don't see a single raid. Because Hera, he has 49 farmers on his starting island. He could not afford all those cataphracts if we had 2-3 Condor landings earlier.
Well, there are multiple times where Hera did do little transports. He transported the starting island. He did the other, the small little steps. If you want to see something funny, look at Liry's shoreline on his starting island. I'm guessing he clicked all of his idle army or his monks to the middle. And they're just all they don't have a way to get there right now. Easy to notice when you're casting. Sometimes impossible in games like this.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hera, it says he has 0 on gold right now, but he's building mining camps on the golds. His gold count, his stone count will grow. It's gotta be Cavalier here. I mean, I like the fact that Liry didn't just stay on Hussar and be stubborn with it and just get frustrated. Cavalier is so much better than Hussar against Skirm. So it gives him a fighting chance. He's still got a lot of gold and stone to fall back to behind him.
Liry is out of castles.
Entirely?
Entirely.
Whoa. Yeah, I just kind of expected one to be back there, but yeah, he doesn't have anything.
I'm also
you
not
can't go
sure.
condos either.
Yeah. No, not on the main island.
Yeah, that's true.
I still believe that Hussar plus Arbalest might be better than Cavalier.
I also agree that, like, the dust settled there. They both had time to build up. A transport, 5 Hussars into Hera's farming eco. Hera doesn't have a castle, a TC, Navy. Like, all that is such crucial parts of Hera's eco right now. Where Liry is trying to raid is actually the tougher task. Hera's got so many castles.
Oh, big fight.
Yeah, big fight. Let's see. And Caddis have more HP. They're -2 attack compared to the Cavalier, but there's also the trample damage. There's also more skirms behind. And I don't know if Liry has enough in queue after this to really feel comfortable with the situation if he doesn't win this fight. He's got 7 Cavalier, 6 Cavalier. It actually was reasonable, considering how expensive it is to get to Elite Cataphract and whatnot. But it's all Hera here. More army, 60+ army, just 30 army for Liry right now.
Yeah, and now don't produce any more skirmishes, just go for Cataphract, and that's indeed what Hera is doing. Now even minus the 3 relics that Liry was having, and he's really struggling to keep up population.
Yeah, not the first time we've said it, and not the only map we've said it on with Byzantines over the last year or two. People love their Byzantines. They're really hard to break. You can get leads against them, but they have so many options, so many bonuses that keep them in games. Hera played them very nicely here. There were some rough aspects of this game. Still not easy. Still the population's pretty close. But I think Hera's just missing a castle right next to all this, and there it is, Nilly, and it just fully controls this area, and there's no way Liry can ever trap it down.
Yeah, he is still desperately going for Cavaliers, but Cataphracts are good enough. And, well, what a beautiful patient play by Hera. And we felt, wow, he has really little area to work with, but he made it happen. And how he could afford all those techs for his Cataphracts, just beautiful.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, he was squished up against the edge of the map. It was really tough for him to move around there, but he was banking resources. And the skirmishers, all very cheap for him, which helped him initially, and then he just kept chugging along. I think Liry, possibly some regrets on army comp, but more than anything, I think it really was gonna come down to Imp. Like, Liry set up to just win the Treb War and snowball there. He didn't set up for anything past that. Like, Cavalier and Hussar, that had to come way later. That wasn't on his mind at the time he was Treb pushing. So it's kind of fun, man. Like, yeah, if you're later with Byzantines to Imp, you don't really have to stress out like you do with other civs.
Yeah, nicely. Also, he built all the castles on a hill, right? Not like ideally positioned protecting the gold, but simply tougher to trap.
Yeah. And I think, Hera, you think about what he was focusing on, super easy for us to say, right? Hera was just like farm on the starting TC, make army, control the island. He never had any navy to worry about. He never had any landings. And to your point, if as Liry was trying to push and, force reactions from Hera, he could have gone for any type of raiding against Hera. Hera was simply not prepared for that. And that could have resulted in so many losses for Hera. Worse micro in the bombard cannons in the Treb War because he would have been distracted. So if Liry watches this, hopefully not now, but later, that's what he'll look to, I think.
I think so as well.
Liry played amazing. It was so good. I really thought that he was screwed when he went fast feudal against Byzantines in the first place.
And Hera played a counter to it.
Yep. Wow. So, I mean, if there was any question on the level they'd bring today, level is extremely high here.
Yeah, very nice to see. And they still have all their early picks. That's crazy as well. Like, both players still with their first 4 picks after 3 games.
Yep. I'm wondering now. I guess you don't feel like regret losing with Italians there because it was a late pick. Like, I don't think Italians are worse than Dravidians.
Oh, they are worse than Dravidians. Dravidians, I think, are number 1.
Okay, yeah.
But they are also like really good on Kazakhstan. And Italians aren't that great on Kazakhstan.
Yeah, got it. Interesting civs played so far, too, from Hera, right? Saracens, Byzantines, and Poles. Whereas, like, Huns, Magyars, Italians, I feel like that clicks a little bit more with Lyrey's name.
It would also click with Hera's name. Like, Huns, Magyar, Italians.
Yeah.
I could see that in Hera's draft as well, yeah.
Still excited to see Hera play Slavs. We know how good he is with farms. But, okay, they're in game 4. And I imagine there's a spec delay. But the next map is going to be Border Dispute, so we definitely need to be paying attention here.
55 seconds to go, so no rush needed. And, well, we have interesting civilizations and a very different choice here for Liry. We thought Dravidians, Greater Migration. Okay, not played there. Great on Kazakhstan. Won't be played there either. They're actually being played on Border Dispute. And that kind of screams mass skirmishes to me.
Mass skirms. Longsword skirm against Aztecs. On paper, really, really good. I have memories of you doing a similar thing, I think on El Dorado, which would be a bit different. Also, with this map, we have seen some players dock the middle. And you could go for a interesting little early dock because of the pop space you get from the house, from the dock. So there's some fun aspects that could be utilized here with the Dravidians. I'm a little surprised to see Aztecs, but I just haven't seen enough of it to really know what's common here. And here we are, game 4. So it is called Border Dispute, but usually what happens is Lyrey's got to be careful here. Normally, both players end up getting 2 boars at the start.
Yeah, but normally they are under the town center.
Liry misclicked a little bit there.
Nervous start there, from what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say it's actually really good for the players. This is 9 villager start, because if this was 3 villager start, they'd still be sending villagers. And if they'd still be sending villagers, it would be more likely they would lose villagers here.
By the way, do you always kill the sheep? I think it was not necessary, right? To kill the starting sheep.
I guess so you're saying you would wait and just like get stragglers or something?
Oh, just like you're instantly getting the boar anyways, right? Just
yeah,
let
I mean,
them
it
idle
takes
for
a
10
little
seconds.
bit. Yeah, it takes a little bit. So I could see maybe taking some sheep. But this is what I mentioned. So Dravidians get the 5 pop space from each dock. There are also shorefish in the middle. And so Liry building the dock here, right on the water, and has access to all that food right now.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if Hera knows, but he should villager rush here. He should pull 4 villagers and constantly fight this off. Because this is a massive advantage. But if Liry is forced away from this, he invested 150 wood and only got a house in exchange.
Yep. I think there's also a point, though, where if you've collected 2 whole shorefish, by the time Hera rushes you down, I think Liry should just leave. Because at that point, it's like, maybe tangle, a little bit, take some fights, but then ultimately, like, take no risks because you're already getting 400 food if you get 2 fish. And he's already well on his way to collecting half of that. Yeah. Because villagers on shorefish is just insane.
This is sloppy by Hera that he's not checking this against Dravidians. Like, Dravidians, actually, he has 1 good shorefish that he can basically take and just drop it off at his town center.
Yep.
But I think Hera should villager rush this.
Maybe just hasn't thought of it, right? Like, doesn't know. May also just want to give it up and push in the deer. But it will be a nice start here for Liry. Now, it's weird because you're probably not going to see the dock used for anything just yet. Like, later on, obviously having it for demos and whatever else is nice. but it is pretty much just an eco drop-off building and a house. So it's like a mill and a house, but you spend 25 extra wood for it, I guess.
And puts the threat into the head of the opponent, right? That's the long-term thingy. 3 on gold for Hera before he builds a barracks. 4 on gold. That's going to be an archer build against Dravidians. Kind of important that Liry is not taking into men-at-arms here.
Yeah. See, this is where it's like, I feel like going for man-at-arms still really strong if you just combine it with skirms, right? And like Hera's scouting has been really surprising. He never checked the middle for the shorefish, so never even confirmed that. And then he's not scouting the front of his opponent's base. Now, that's probably expected because of the TC, but like, there's a lot of things that I think come off as expected here. And Hera might be completely surprised by the dock and the man-at-arms from Dravidians. The 2 things you would expect to see.
Okay, let's see. He might have seen 3 villages on gold if he was watching at exactly that time.
He's going to see the range from Liry, because Liry's going to drop it. And now, like, his villager, he's going for full walls here instead of small walls. Hera didn't know this was coming. And Liry might get a villager pick. Nice little block here from Liry, and Hera's got to damage control this. And he just gives up on the villager. Disappointing for Hera that this will surprise him, but good job from him, at least thus far, not to lose more.
1 will down, some walls forced, and still went for the men-at-arms. The thing is, Liry's scouting is obviously suboptimal as well, and he will be surprised, like, where's your wood line?
Yeah. And Hera actually going eagles and rushing the middle. But at this point, like we said before, Liry could just justify running away. Now, Hera knows the man-at-arms are there now, so he shouldn't be surprised on the wood line. But he knows the man-at-arms haven't gone to his wood line yet.
Supplies!
Supplies from Liry! What?
Oh, wow. This is a feudal all-in.
Feudal all-in with all-in man-at-arms skirm from Liry. Let's go, baby. A little bit cheaper for the man-at-arms. And, you know, I don't know if he'll have the food for the long run, but it does save a little bit of food to get supplies, so that's the point.
Yeah, and you can actually get quite some reasonable food on the outside as well if you wanted to mill a bit more. Skirm's now arriving, and Skirm's arriving at your goal at 8:30. Ooh, Hera is under quite some pressure.
If only Liry saw the wood line.
Now he might.
Okay, he sees the blacksmith, so he might think that there's something over there, but...
blocking the
also...
mill is totally fine.
Yeah, I was going to say there's nothing wrong with this either, because Hera will run out of food underneath his TC. Wow. This might be the first time I've seen Liry click supplies in Feudal Age, Nilly, in all these years.
Yeah, if ever, then maybe on Fish and Fish. That was maybe something where we have seen it from time to time. I think a game against Stouts might have been something, but certainly crazy to see it here, and I love it.
Yeah. After researching supplies, he has not produced much more. We should say that.
Yeah.
But he's really focused on macroing, which he shouldn't forget about. And he's going to have another little force of skirms and man-at-arms looping around the other way. Should say this, like, Liry, he's got a lot of aggression. He has a lot of army. On paper, he is the better army. But Hera has not died yet. And Hera's in this game. And while in theory, skirms can counter archers and man-at-arms counters eagles, could also go eagles versus skirms and archers versus man-at-arms.
Tricky, though, with the micro of Liry here. And, well, it's tough to find a good engagement here. It feels like Liry can always, like, tickle a bit and always find a bit of damage. While Hera, he needs to wait to then take one great engagement.
Look at Liry wandering around with 2 villagers in the north. Just a small thing there I noticed.
Yeah, that's for the deer.
3 vills, actually. Yeah, he's looking. He knows the deer are there. He's looking for them. And because he hasn't found immediate damage at Hera's base, Hera is counterattacking right now. And Hera needed something. He needs some type of momentum. Here it comes.
That's sick. Gold not needed, so not a big loss. But woodline certainly needed.
He can, I think, quick wall this, but he doesn't actually have the wood for it. And Hera only lost 1 villager this whole time. He's going to kill 1 as well now. His eco's pretty awkward right now, and finally Liry's going to get to that wood line. But another villager goes down now for Liry, and Liry does not have the army right now. And he really just can't find the kills with the skirms, and the efficiency is awful for Lyrey's economy right now.
Oh, and more skirms losing. Oh, this is such a massive raid. How much Liry is losing. How sloppy he moved those skirmishes.
Yeah, look, I mean, the idle time's insane right now. He doesn't have any food income. He just completely fell apart. Completely fell apart. Another villager's going to go down.
4 archers, 3 eagles, 7 kills.
And Hera's going to drop a tower, which will eventually go up. And that tower will protect the wood line. Wow, what a great job from Hera.
That's sick. But gold and berries now unprotected, and you can't tower anymore. And skirms, they're basically sitting a bit on a hill.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think maybe Liry should just use the man-at-arms against the gold. The houses next to the gold, and the skirms could sit. Hera's got to be careful, because if Hera loses these eagles at all, we'll have some massive problems for these archers here. But he's done a great job combining forces here. And it's just the utility of Eagle Archer. Eagle Archer, much easier to use against villagers, and much easier to control compared to man-at-arms skirm.
Yeah. Man-at-arms, kissing the town center a bit. Oh, this is a big loss. Oh, no. Oh, no, Liry. Oh! And now it's only one man-at-arm left.
And Liry's looking at the other side. And Hera will know this, too. You sense it as a player. You sense it, and you're happy with the engagement you're taking on the other side anyways. 15 to 7 KD right now for Hera, as he's going to find another villager kill. That's 5 villager kills in this game. And he's also very close to clearing up the entire threat at his base as well. He'll kill the last man-at-arm, and now the next eagle in the queue could deal with those skirmishers.
If this was Hidden Cup,
oh my god,
I would have said this is doubt against Hera. It's just such an approach here. Man-at-arm skirm, and suddenly like getting out macroed, like Hera's taking the beautiful fights, and just a bit of a step to the side, and Hera with the crazy defense.
Like good strategy, but then failure with the execution. Or struggle with the execution, I should say. Poor Dowd has had a rough ride the last month. But... oh, man. I mean, just some uncharacteristic things from Liry as well, right? Like, I don't think he should have been surprised by the counterattack. He didn't see the army anymore. I would have really liked to have seen him build a tower between his gold and his wood. I think it could have protected a lot. Also, like, I saw 2 villagers wander very far away from the TC. Just run directly into an army, like one was just a moment ago. And then the villagers looking for the hunt, like... it's like he knows the map and he had the strat, but he just didn't have the vision, I guess. And just some awkward things have happened for him here.
Maybe some villagers in the center could have also allowed him to afford fletching a bit earlier, right? That was the big problem.
Oh, but Hera's going to be off of gold. And Liry research supplies... so he's still producing more man-at-arms. He does have skirms and man-at-arms defending. He does have armor on the man-at-arms and also on the skirms. And Hera, thinking about how to find another gold, is headed over to a gold that Liry might wander over to. But Liry also still needs to defend.
And Hera bought himself stone to get a tower there at his gold. Quite a nice play.
Yeah, and also mining stone. I think both, it would have made sense for both players. Hera is 1 tile away from finding 5 more villager kills.
He saw the straggler now? That is actually used? Like, you're never watching there, but technically he could know.
Which straggler tree? Which one?
No, it's not a straggler. It's one of the trees just used.
Oh, I see. I could barely see it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's you have to actively watch, and why would you?
Yeah. Easy for us to say, lots of army for Liry in Feudal Age. And if this was Dal, he'd go triple barracks and keep going. He'd keep going. You just got to keep making man-at-arms and hope it works.
Yeah, Dal would have 14 on gold, though, and already would have bought 600 food.
Yeah, that's true. The
Instead
farming
having
eco
that
for
amount of
Liry
food,
is really nice. Oh, man. And I mean, there's probably a question of what do you do if you're Hera? And the answer is tower defense and Castle Age, and then figure it out from there. I think staying in Feudal Age with Eagles and Archers would not be the play here.
Yeah, I think, like, against Man-at-Arms Skirm, tower defense is actually very natural and pretty easy, because they will really struggle to find any villager kills then.
Yep, Hera needs to garrison in his tower, which he has not done. He was microing the Archers, and he ran into the TC fire there and a couple skirms. Could have been worse with unit losses, though. Still no tower for Hera. And there's wood here, there's stone, and the pressure's kind of getting to him at the moment, Liry.
Oh, there's quite a lot of men-at-arms that are now getting the attack upgrade as well. The thing is, though, once we get crossbow, or even the eagle upgrade, it will be really tricky for Liry to hold this. But if he breaks this house and kills all the wood villagers, those would be crazy.
Yeah, now that right there, just moments ago, we saw a villager from Hera get saved in the last second. That happens when you're up against skirms, right? That's the difference. Whereas with archers, obviously, Hera will lose everything. That's the downside, but the skirms can hold back the archers. And Hera's eco looking just as messy as Liry's was earlier. And Liry has so much army.
I think Hera didn't lose a single villager from this woodline. That was kind of trapped. And surrounded by like 6 men-at-arms, 10 skirms.
Couldn't kill anything. Like, he's got weak villagers, and the villagers are going to be traumatized, but, you know, this isn't that realistic. They're just as effective when they're on 1 HP as 40, so... Also makes me so sad. Hera has walked through the middle enough times where Liry could have got a random demo to work.
Yeah, true.
Tato would have had that one a long time ago. Liry knows about the counterattack. I think you dive the tower here, right? You just got to take Hera off of gold. Just make a move. And Hera knows it. House walls from Hera.
Clever. Give me another palisade. Beautiful.
It's just like so much army, but Man-at-Arms Skirm doesn't feel like it's devastating enough.
Yeah.
So awkward. But let's see if Hera loses his archers here. The archers are still so important to this attack. Liry's going to find some kills. And if Hera doesn't find archers anymore, he's just going to have eagles. And then the Man-at-Arms could defend from that.
Yeah, really nice pickoff. Really nice pickoff. And those men-at-arms, do you want to dive again? Technically, there are 2 open towers, right? Yeah, you will lose a lot, but you maybe take 4 or 5 villagers with you. But I think you need to keep it alive and really continue to threaten the fight.
And that Man-at-Arm helps out with those eagles. And so Hera's counterattack doesn't accomplish much. And Liry is underneath the tower, finally finds a villager kill, and will take the tower out, I think.
Will be a lot of dancing. A lot of stone for Hera. He can repair. Eagles are coming over. This will still be quite some work if you want to take it out. Also in Castle Age, more HP, right?
Yeah, Castle Age goes up about 200 HP. Tower Fire is the best thing that Hera has against the Man-at-Arms, but if they're underneath it, it doesn't help. Could we see Hera buy stone, go for a castle, and go for Jaguar Warriors here?
I don't think it adds too much, right? You already tagged into crossbow, though. No, I think then Liry can just run away. And he can add like 4 crossbows again. I don't think Jaguars is the greatest choice.
Hera finding 2 more villager picks with the Eagles. So he's using the mobility. Now he's off of the other gold. He loses another vill there. Liry is forever feudal here, right? He's not clicked up to the next stage. It's 2-1 for Hera. And we said before the series, it just feels like Hera's been able to have Liry's number. Hera, in those small little moments, able to swing games. And the moments in this game has been keeping villagers alive. And the counterattacks has been so good.
Yeah, pretty sick. And now another clearer potentially at the left-hand side of Hera's base with all those eagles. No, skirmishers might get out of there alive.
Make a demo! Make a demo, Liry! Make a demo, dude! Look where Hera's running! Oh! It could be so good.
I would love it.
Look at the amount of army Liry has defending his eco right now. This is not the situation that Liry wanted to find himself in.
And now the eagles are looping in from the top again, and those men-at-arms. Like, you kind of need to use them like spearmen and spread them around your economy.
Yeah, and this gives Hera time, and feels like Hera's weathered the storm. We saw supplies. Early, all-in feudal. Nice quick walls there from Liry as Hera's underneath the TC, just passing. I can't believe it, but Liry's actually clicked up the Castle Age. What in the world?
Well, he had a crazy economy, right? He had like 24 farmers, so just not producing those men-at-arms allowed him to go for it. We now could have built a castle. Hera decided to go for a town center first, probably not knowing where he wants to build it right now.
Trap him, trap the eagles. Nope. Oh, there's potential. There's still potential. The Eagles can't retreat now. They run right into the man-at-arms. This is a nice engagement for Liry, considering how awkward and slow his units are. And the Eagles, oh, they squeeze right through.
Taking lots of damage. Lots of damage.
More villager kills going to happen, though. More Eagles could loop in. The idle time is something else for Liry's economy right now, but it's been pretty bad for Hera as well. We're going to drop a castle here. It's an awkward one, but I like it because it's so close to the stone and gold, and if you can get that up, you can then make Jaguar Warriors.
Can those men-at-arms die for it? Next to, well, not anymore. But I think initially it could have been an option.
He's doing so much. In the north, he had to quick wall and save those vills.
Ah, okay, yeah. Okay.
So I think he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too brutal here, but Liry not making one demo... I feel like he deserves to lose.
He's not a true entertainer.
Come on!
Oh!
Hera knows what's up. And Liry's now like, oh, that was a pretty good idea, actually. I should maybe consider that myself. He's going to make it to Castle Age with a castle on his face.
Liry is a player. Hera is a content creator.
Well, I also think...
He's also a player.
On a serious note, though, Hera it's the tiny details, a little bit more creative, right?
Yeah.
And things we've seen when they played each other over the last 2 years. It's why Hera's been able to have that extra win or two. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I think a demo shot or two on Eagles could have made all the difference. He would have had less Eagles in his eco. Could have maybe denied the castle. Like, we just don't know.
Yeah, certainly agree. And now Jaguars are... yeah, working well, because Liry, his economy simply isn't set up to go for proper crossbows and another demo.
Yeah, this is just making it worse. This is just making it worse. Liry, this is his time to learn about the demos. And he's going to waltz right past the dock. If he ever tries to retreat, I could see it happening again. And he had at one point, he had 30 longswords a moment ago. He's down to 20 now. He still has quite a few of them. Hera will make a quick wall here, or no, just run away. And Hera just could make another castle now. Like, whether it's defensive or offensive, it feels like with 62 vills for Hera right now, it's going to be really tough for Liry to stop him.
Yeah, it feels weird, but I think a defensive castle just somewhere very central in your economy could actually make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because things are flowing pretty nicely for you. You know you've killed more villagers than you've lost. Hera added his town center before the castle, so he should know he's got the villager lead there as well. And the longsword play, I actually like it. I think Skirm, man-at-arm, longsword Skirm, on paper, really good against Aztecs. And I think Liry might have got the matchup he wanted here. Yeah, but Archer Eagle, just more utility.
If he doesn't take this mass amount of damage against the 3 Eagle 4 Archer early counterattack, I think he's in a brilliant spot.
Yeah. And the Eagles going to attack the villagers building the siege workshop here. And could be tough for those villagers. I don't know if they're going to have the time to build the siege workshop, but there is an archer on the way. Either the siege workshop goes down or the villagers go down, or all 3 things happen. I'm not sure.
I think villagers likely to die. Although Archer getting attacked now, more longswords are coming over. Maybe the siege workshop even goes up.
Okay, not bad. Hera has to abandon it. Now, this is where the defensive castle would make sense, right? If you're worried about siege. Yeah. Maybe even delete your houses and build a castle there before the siege comes out.
I would like that. He's 90 out of 140.
Oh! Demo from Liry. Let's go, baby. Finally, we get it.
He's evolving.
He's evolving. Let's go. If only there was a border dispute tournament, because in the next couple games, we'd see a whole bunch of demos from Liry, I'm sure.
Okay, castle, completely opposite side of the map from what we wanted.
Yeah, true.
Controls, obviously a lot of gold, stone in this area. But he's getting pushed on the other side. And for Hera, actually a stable game is a better game. So I'm a bit surprised that he goes for an aggressive castle.
Yeah, I do think, though, that this is also something that Hera's kind of tweaked. Like, he can take the chaos a bit more, right? Than, the stable meta games. So I also like this because it secures more stones. Like Mr. Yo, for example, forward castle, right? You wouldn't have maybe thought Hera would do it, but it does give you access to more castles. And also, Liry doesn't have any siege to really threaten with right now. We should say that.
I don't like that Liry is fully staying on longswords against the castle. Like, I said, like, the castle isn't that exciting because I thought Liry would simply just transition to crossbows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think this has gone past the point of no return for Liry, right? It's longsword siege, YOLO, no switching. It definitely has that type of feel to it, and he calls the GG. And what an important victory for Hera. I mean, Hera has won 3 straight now, and that one right there, it feels like it's going to be so tricky for Liry. The last 2 games, good strategy from Liry, just hasn't been able to break Hera. And in this one, maybe greater potential for Liry to get a win than he ever had in the previous game. It was just the counterattacks that Hera kept sending over his way that completely undid him.
Oh, what a nice game. And Liry, that was a very prepared strategy, a clear plan that he was going for. And that one hurts more than a single game. That one of his very early picks and something where he made a conscious decision. I will not play the Dravidians on Migration. I will not play them on Kazakhstan. I will play them on Border Dispute. And then not getting the W has to sting.
And now, of course, in your head, you could be like, oh, I should have just gone Dravidians on Migration. They would have been much better for me. I could have beaten Byzantines better than the Italians could have. Then I'd have Italians. I could have just thrown that. You know, you start to think about it sometimes as a player. In reality, though, you shouldn't. You know, you have to think about that later. It's our job, of course, to discuss it. But Hera winning 3 straight against Liry, based on the last couple times they played each other, wouldn't have surprised me massively. Liry beating Hera 3 times with how Hera's looking right now, and some of the tiny sloppy moments we're seeing crop up from Liry time to time. I don't know, but I love to be proven wrong.
Yeah, well, it is the task ahead of Liry, right? And let's take a look at the maps. I think it heavily comes down to the civs. What do we have? We have Chinese, which are crazy good. We have, on the other side, what are we even picking? Mayans?
Mayans is I think Mayans could be really good, yeah. Because you get Loom right away when the TC is completed. You get that extra Vil. Somewhat competitive.
But you don't Loom on Myard.
Oh, that's true. That's
because
true. You don't Loom because you have the food.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's a bit different. I don't know.
Chinese are crazy good. Maybe it's still Mayans. You have more food from there.
I mean, the other thing too is like Hera could look at this and say, "I'm going to lose to Chinese." If Hera thinks Chinese are as good as we both do, and the 9 villagers start here, you could just say, "I'm going to lose for Chinese." So, just as long as I have good matchups for the other games, I'm happy. I just don't know if Mayans is necessarily part of his plans for the other games here.
Yeah, it's probably Slavs hideout, Portuguese Kazakhstan, Japanese Kazakhstan, Burgundians hideout. So I think Malay, well, Malay could be hideout as well. But it feels like either Malay or Burgundians are not played. And Koreans I don't see being played right now.
Yeah, Koreans is interesting. Koreans on Nomad. What have you thought about that? We've seen a couple people pick it. Obviously, we don't have Nomad here, but just in general.
GL are fans of it. Like, it doesn't excite me that much. Obviously, with 9 villagers, you see so much, right? And that makes your decision making easier. I just think war wagons are not great. I think just play it a bit more boomy and more towers might make it easier for you. Obviously, you can contest water quite nice. I'm sure they're top 10. I'm not sure if they're like top 4 like some people think.
I guess it would come down to like where you played them, right? Like if you played it or where you drafted them is what I meant to say. So if you draft them late, which I think most people have been doing, then it makes a little bit more sense.
Like John had them last, right? I think John had them as number 6,
yeah.
Or 8.
And closed as game 1. What was game 2? I forget. Land Madness? Yeah, Land Madness. Okay. A bit of a brain fart. Been a long day. We've had some short sets in Warlords. Been a really long day. But a good day of games.
Yeah, well, the John Yo set was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel for Jordan, but I hope he's not too discouraged. I think a big thing for Jordan is he bases how he feels not on the result, but how he played a lot.
Yeah, actually true.
And Jordan played amazing the last couple rounds. So I hope he's not too disappointed. It might sting though because you were so close.
You're right with what you said. What I actually witnessed is that his perception, how well he played, could be very different to my perception. Like, I've seen him win sets, and he said, like, oh, I was off. And it didn't feel right. And I felt you played really solid. Like, not out of your mind, but really solid.
Yeah. And then he still thinks, well, it could be better. I could have improved that. Yeah, makes sense.
Hey, Viper Raiders. We are looking at Liry versus Hera.
I get that. You know, that's
T90.
something I've always struggled with, too. Like, someone says good things about my gameplay, and I'm like, what are you talking about? like you know, like being in the top 100 is like nothing. Like, this is so bad.
Nearly hype.
And it's tricky, right? You have a competitive mindset. And we're always talking about tiny little details, and when you know all these tiny things you could do differently, like you're rarely going to have a perfect game, regardless of who you are. It feels like, unless like maybe like 3 or 4 players. So I guess that's just comes down to the mindset. But again, Jordan, if this gets back to you, you're probably asleep right now because it's what 11 p.m. in Germany.
Yeah. So he's
if this gets
asleep like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, if I could somehow access your dreams, Jordan, and give you a message, you played amazing. I'm really happy for that. So. Oh man. All right. So it'll be Kawasan next. And it'll be Japanese, Portuguese. No massive surprises here for me.
No. The shifts that we expected. It's so standard. In my books, Portuguese, the favorite. I just feel like on Kawasan, lots of bonuses aligned there. You obviously, water fights are nice for you. You have more HP on your fire galleys. They're a bit cheaper as well. And then this massive center. If you get the berries there, you generate wood from it, you get the heal advantage, you get the extra relic, and I think Portuguese are really nice. Japanese, obviously, on the other side, a crazy economy, and I don't think we know the true power of Japanese CA yet.
True. Japanese CA, though, or Cav Archers in general, I think you have to have time, right? So if Liry has time to get the mass rolling, I could see it being strong. Ultimately, I think this map, these 2 players, this is all decided on position in early Castle Age. I'd be shocked if it's not. It's really tricky. Because, like, I'm trying to think, like, I guess we've seen Kawasan in 3 villager starts, 9 villager starts, also Empire Wars, right? And I feel like maybe 9 start, it actually is, like, the most difficult in terms of walling up at home. There's a lot of walling to do. There's a lot of reason for Navy. There's a lot of reason for Land Army. And you can sometimes be trapped trying to wall with too many villagers or trapped with under or overproducing. I really like the map a lot.
It is complex. And I think it's tricky, especially like now pawns have stabilized. How do we transition in Feudal Age, or are we going to Castle Age? Decision making is pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so here we are. So Portuguese will have more HP on their ships. Their gold units are cheaper. There are other bonuses that play here for the Portuguese, like the wood you get from taking the berries. But you get more wood from chopping the trees. Expectation was for Hera to do that. And obviously same for Liry here. 2 pawns, and then tons of berries towards the middle. I'm thinking a dock is a given for both. I'd be shocked if they don't do that. And probably... Yeah, I guess like the one thing I'm not a fan of this map, Nilly, is it just feels too predictable. I think Navy and Archers is probably what we're going to see from both of them, right?
The bolts at the left-hand side. Oh, we have to go back T90. That's the T90 moment for you. Go to the villager, left side of Hera's TC.
Okay. That was a T90 moment. The one walking past the golds?
Yeah. And then getting pushed away by the buffalo.
New pathing, by the way. New pathing, by the way. Nilly, it's funny you mentioned that, but that exact thing happened with a monk bringing back a relic against a knight earlier.
Okay.
where it was in the previous series, and Yo was bringing a relic back home, and a knight was leaving on enclosed on the left side, and the knight was getting blocked by the monk. Wow, that's weird. I mean, can you imagine though if like, what if Hera saw the villager near the gold and felt like, the villager he sent to the dock was already on the way, and then sent it to another resource, and then realized 30 seconds later that the dock wasn't going up.
Yeah. He might feel like,
Would've been
okay,
bad.
what is that random villager doing? It can't be the one at the dock. Yeah.
Yeah. But he realized, and dock's going to go up on the left side. So this is something that the players will have to scout. Do you think that this benefits one player over the other, the fact they have initially docked opposite sides here?
Different people have different views on that, I believe. Obviously, if you have the stronger water civilization, you always want to dock in the point of the other one, like Byzantines, let's say. Here, both have advantages, right? In the sense, like, fire galley against fire galley is good for Portuguese, but Japanese always have their fishing ships in there as well to block. So, I think trying to fight 2 pawns at the same time is better for the Portuguese player. So, I think cross spawn is a bit better for Portuguese, but only slight advantage.
Okay. Did notice Hera had another fishing ship in queue, was housed at 20 pop, and then just canceled it. So Hera's on one fishing ship, which is very rare. Normally it's like, I know it's a bit different with the 9 vills, but normally it's still 3 or 4 from what I've seen. No. This could come back to the Japanese, though, just saving so much wood on everything.
Is it? No. He goes for a fishing ship again, but should be nice. Resource income for Liry there. Should be a nice advantage. 3 fishing ships of Japanese early on.
And the interesting thing about this is Hera has scouted the whole shoreline of the pond he has docked. So he now knows that Liry must have a dock on the other side. There's no question Liry will have a dock.
Yeah.
And Liry will probably do the same. He did do the same, actually. And he's even checking now with a fishing ship. So Liry's down 3-1. But the tiny details we've perhaps been critical on at times, helping him here. He's going to scout, won't see a dock, and even adds a 5th fishing ship for a bit of greed.
Yeah, quite interesting. And both players kind of knowing, okay, you dock the other side. It's more like, do you also have a dock on my side? Oh, going for the buffaloes in the town center?
Oh, no. The Hera's going to steal all of them. There's no way they'll get away. Hera's got to stay close to them. Oh, geez. And now Liry's trying to do the same. Liry's trying to do the same. You get buffalo, I get buffalo, we all get buffalo. What?
And
Can't we just agree? Go ahead.
I think it's a bit better for Liry, right? He gets 3. We'd see 1 lost on the other side, 2 lost on the other side.
Yeah, this just got really messy really fast here.
But if Liry gets them home, that should be good. 30 HP scout against 42 HP, so even if they want to fight, that's better for Liry as well.
Yeah, that's true. And then the 5 fishing ships, right? Hera just going to wall up. Hera late with the barracks as well, and there's just been a lot of good things happening here for Liry. Res collected should, in time, look a bit better for him. Also, I find that, well, Hera's base is much easier to wall with the wood lines, but the gold and the berries being forward is extremely awkward. So I could see Liry using that fact.
Well, let's see. We have the archer range now going for the blacksmith as well. Both players, like, surprising little investment on water.
Yeah, I'm laughing because Hera's looking for the buffalo, and Liry has gone the long way. Those buffalo will make it to Liry's TC in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Mid-castle age, 450 food boost.
Yeah. they will be extremely experienced buffalo. They've seen the world. They've got some stories to tell the buffalo back at home. So good defense from Hera, and no elite pressure or anything along those lines from Hera, but this is something that he's good at, right? Getting the walls down and defending, and we've seen many times that Liry might move forward. Hera's late to army, and Hera's able to defend from it. He's going to make archers and skirms, and he has to drop a tower now.
Oh, that's ugly.
On his berries.
Wow, absolutely something you don't want to do. And that's just the big difference, right? Liry played no walls, therefore the archer range earlier, and Hera walled up against, I'm not sure what, while he loses the tower, and that's why he's late with the units.
Yep. Scout did go down for Liry. So it does still feel like, while it's not pretty, while it's ugly, as you so kindly said, Nili, it's still kind of okay for Hera. Because him being late to army doesn't hurt that massively.
Well, it will just snowball, right? Now you have the tower. That means Liry will be up to castle age earlier because he could sell the stone.
Yeah.
And then it's like crossbow timing, ballistics timing could be earlier. I don't think Liry will rush ballistics, but then again he could. Oh! He actually got 2 of the buffaloes back.
Oh, Hera's gonna find them, and now is Hera gonna go the long way back home? These poor buffalo. Wait. Liry. Oh, he almost buffaloed the house. Or, sorry.
Buffaloed the house?
You know what I meant.
He buffaloed the house.
That was not on your bingo card for our castle.
No.
I mean, the other buffalo did get here in time. So this was... I don't know what the expected arrival time looked like on the shipping link. But it was accurate, I'm assuming. Oh, man. I'm so hoping. Obviously... big important moment here, but all everyone cares about now is if Liry will find those buffalo again.
Yeah, and they're not very fast. I would even call them buffer slow.
That was bit of a reach there, Nili, but it's okay. I deserved it. I've made some bad ones today. So as the buffaloes move on home, Hera on the way to the next stage. 4 on stone indicates to me a tower defense play. Like, he's definitely... It's a bit in between wanting an early castle and wanting TCs, right? But maybe he will have around 200 stone by the time he makes it to castle age, and it's going to be archers for both. And, oh my god, Liry's not walled. And Hera's just walking right through the middle. Is Hera going to show himself here?
Not shooting. Not shooting.
But he notices the attack from Liry. He just assumes that the walls are up from Liry. That could have really hurt Liry.
Yeah, but look at how many villages Liry pulled as well.
So he did notice. That ends up being pretty good for Liry here. And Liry reaches the next stage. We haven't seen Liry on crossbowman much at all this series, right? This might be the first time he clicks the crossbow upgrade all series.
Certainly not in the Huns game.
That's definitely something that we've always... thought about when we think about Liry. Isn't completely walled on the left, but it's just a couple walls away from that. And Hera playing Age of Markets over here, dropping markets to buy time.
Obviously won't build them too high. He only wants to buy himself a bit of time. Won't finish them and then wants to get like 300 wood back.
Whoa. What is happening here, Liry? What's happening? Losing some villagers here to a feudal age army. And Hera's going to take that one to the bank every time. Very interesting. I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, he just moved out. I think wanted something in the center there, but, well, unfortunately running directly into Hera's army.
Yeah, and then, of course, didn't find any damage. Again, it's just like, well, sloppy stuff here or there. Hera stays in the game, and he feels like the more consistent player. Obviously, both players have elite levels. Liry still hoping to find some reward for all the army he's had. There was a point where he forced a tower from Hera. Hera didn't have an archer range completed while Liry was advancing forward. And yet we're here. And resources collected, I imagine. Pretty close. And with that being in favor of Hera now, starting to believe Hera could maybe finish off this series if he finds some counter damage.
It will be ballistics against no ballistics, but it also will be 1 archer range against 2 archer ranges. So it's really important that Liry does not lose any numbers before... actually, ballistics for Hera as well. Oh, this is bad for Liry.
Yeah, it will also be slightly faster. So 2 range production against 1 range. And both players happy to just let the other player fish thus far. Both players are going to have that first armor upgrade. Ballistics 5 seconds away. And Liry's hoping he's going to have it first here, but Portuguese techs coming in faster leads to some good hits. Liry, I think, noticed that ballistics was probably in. He's got it himself now. So let's see these players dance. This is where normally you might favor Liry in a crossbow war, and he does respond nicely.
Nice. That was an important hold for him. If he loses like 3-4 extra units there, I think the game might be over.
I think Siege Workshop on the hill is the next move, right? To bring a Vil. I know it's a crossbow war, but some siege could be helpful. Hera's going to have siege too. So you might... This is where I get worried, and I build the Siege Workshop below the hill, because I'm worried I might lose the hill.
catastrophic siege workshop. First of all, a Mangonel could be trapped between the berries, and I'm not sure that it goes up if Hera's moving out with his Mangonel instantly.
Yeah, and that's the worry, right? Now, I think Liry will probably dance for a bit to buy himself some time. He did also bring a second Vil.
Okay.
And you are right. There's actually a very good chance that if Liry sends his Mangonel to the right out of the siege workshop, it gets stuck. Not something you think about when you're playing. Maybe you do. I probably wouldn't.
I spent
And
20
now
seconds
Hera sees the siege
searching
workshop.
for the perfect spot.
Oh, man. I mean, it's also very likely Liry will send it the direction we're talking about.
Yeah, actually true.
He's going to send it near where the relic is. I could see it getting stuck there. Hera advancing right past this with no fear. And oh, man, good micro here from Liry. Here we go. Moment of truth.
Pop. Oh, nice ground tech. I really liked that one. That felt really likely, actually.
Yeah, I like that. I think MBL's the one who started doing that. Attack grounding, and oh, there we go. Mangonel makes it out. All right. Here we go. Big shots coming in. And Hera gets hit by one, and Liry loses his Mangonel, but takes the Mangonel from Hera.
Hera kind of
Impressive
stopped
stuff.
crossbow production.
And he's in a really rough position right now. His crossbows get moved, and Liry gets the shot! How did he get those shots in? The other Mangonel was so close. And just when we begin to worry a little bit for Liry, he shows us with his crossbow Mangonel micro again who he is. That was not in Hera's plans here. Hera wanted a castle in the middle soon after a clear up, and now he's got to think about something else.
What a crazy, crazy save with that Mangonel. That is sick. And Liry now gave himself a chance in this game again, right? It felt like Hera was winning, and with like earlier Mangonels, crossbows, earlier ballistic timing. But Liry saved by his micro.
Yeah, and also remember, he does have Chinese, who many consider to be the best civilization in this tournament. He's got that available for future games.
Yeah. On
Land Madness?
no,
we already
Mired.
said that. Mired, yep.
Yeah.
Nice
So
pick off there
it
from
should be
Hera.
+3 villagers there.
I really like Hera's insistence upon counterattacking when he falls behind. Right? Falls behind, instantly, couple units to the other side. Any value he can get from that. And it could distract Liry with the fights. Because, like, Liry's got the hill here. In a Mangonel war, having the hill is so important.
Yeah, it's crazy. And as you can see, more damage being dealt. That is so good for Liry. But look at that. Liry has a group of 6 villagers around as well. Liry, again, Hera
man.
snipes 2 builds. But if Liry is arriving at this gold, this could be game over.
Yeah, let's see. I'm seeing those crossbows there. I'm also watching the fight in the middle, which Hera is kind of winning right now. Hera could also deny the TC. So both players have counterattacking armies. The crossbows stop for Liry. He finds it. And his TC will likely complete. That's a big find for the Austrian.
That's so good. Doesn't kill everything, though. Doesn't want to overcommit. Kills 4 villagers and then micros away. I think committing there and getting 2 more villager kills could have been an option for him.
Yeah, maybe. We'll get
Nice.
one more as he runs away. And it's the running away that's really important. You know, I am concerned for Liry. Like, his lack of farming eco is a little concerning. Having said that, Hera just pulled all of his farm villagers off of farms. So it's one of those games.
What? How did that? Oh, forward castle.
Oh, man. Oh, no. This is like... Dude, you think about castles towards the middle on Kawasan? This is one of the worst ones you could place. Delete it? Do you delete it and replace the castle?
The ballsy ones would do it. Hera,
Oh, there was
Hera
an
though,
opportunity.
300 stone. I think he just built the next one a bit further forward.
Okay, would make sense. And had, you know, obviously had he deleted it, just lost the Mangonel there, so worrisome times. But Liry not able to fully control the middle. And Hera going to get a castle up that has ballistics, that has bodkin, and I think Liry's TC is just going to be so awkward to defend now. Like, it'll surely go down.
Yeah, like, you can't really repair into it, right? You can't really dance against all those Mangonels. Really clamped up units. Oh!
And Hera, again, just refuses to die. The TC will go down. Liry's Mangonel is trapped! We called it! It's trapped between the berries,
Oh,
Lily.
yeah.
He's got to bury his way out.
Build the mill! 125 food to go.
Oh, no. And everything is going wrong here for Liry. Everything's so awkward. It has not been his day. The last 3 games have been horrible for him.
By the way,
And-
if you ever get into the scenario, your way to avoid this is actually just build a palisade there.
Yeah, you don't even need to fully build it. Just 2 HP, and that area is going to be blocked off. And nearly, my game sped up on me. I don't know where you're at, but I'm sure you can see the direction this is going here.
GG.
And Hera's going to take the series.
4-1 here. Crazy performance. Liry with a lot of games that got us really excited for him. But somehow Hera always kind of found a sneaky way to get the W away from Liry.
Yeah, and it's just the consistency. Like I'm seeing the spikes of strategy from Liry. The timing's there at times. But, you know, the eco behind it's not necessarily there. Or the consistency, the crossbow micro is not necessarily there. Things that show the level that Hera's at right now, because these are elite timings to find against a player like Hera. It's not easy to do. But, you know, as expected, that I think even with these names, it has to be said because the last couple of results these two have had against each other, Hera will win or does win 4-1. And not much more we can really say about Hera besides the guy refuses to die, and you have to be super consistent the whole way through to win a game against him.
Oh man, just absolutely beautiful how he's playing. And it looked a bit shaky in earlier stages of this tournament. Lost a set to Yo, but he's on course. He's still on course to make it 4 S-tier tournament wins in a row.
So I'm going on Twitch chat earlier, so this is a little risky, but I believe that means now confirmed with the prior quarterfinals. Shut your ear, everyone, if you didn't want spoilers, but we talked about it. I believe that is then Hera versus Yo